up? What's up? We are back for Toss One Back Thursday, a couple weeks removed. So, welcome to everybody out there. You can pull up my screens and stuff here. Happy Thursday to you. And yesterday was National Beer Lovers Day. So, hopefully, you guys got a chance to partake in that and enjoy some beer and frosty cold beverage. Beer Lovers Day. That means love the beer, not to love the beer. I hope you weren't doing anything to any beer in glasses. I'm just saying. That's not for dipping. But go ahead. What were you going to say?
We really need to be a special day for that, but it's great that there is.
I mean, in my house, it's every day is National Beer Lovers Day. But if they want to give a holiday to make it official, so
right.
we go out and celebrate it for National Beer Lovers Day. So.
And like you said, I'm sure there are some that get that, definition a little intertangled there, and like, oh.
Yeah, some people smother themselves in beer. Oh yeah, it feels so good. Like, no, that's not what we mean by National Beer Lovers Day, my friend.
It's like the scene from American Pie.
You're taking it too far. You're taking it way too far. But welcome back, everybody, and cheers. I see we have Vanessa say hello. We have Gilbert in the house. Cheers, fools. And
Vanessa, E.G.
Another season of him saying, go, Pack, go. Yep.
Yeah. Already.
Even though I'm seeing pictures of Aaron Rodgers looking like a meth head running around out there with his little winter hat on. I'm like, how cold is it in Wisconsin? You get the little beanie hat on already. Like, what's going on up there?
It's like that picture of Dave Chappelle's toboggan down nose scratching. Like, you gotta eat that.
Yeah, you gotta eat them Super Bowls.
Any star receivers I can have because they're not away.
Oh, we got Mick in the house. Cheers,
What's up,
Mick. Happy Thursday. So actually, for Mick, it's Friday, and of course, he's over in Britain and. Condolences there for, I think the country's kind of in mourning with the Queen dying today and everything. But 96 years, that's a long time. That's a long fruitful life. I mean, to think she was on the throne for 70 years, that's kind of crazy.
I know. That's what kind of my first beer be the tribute of. It wasn't intentional, but it happened to work out.
Yeah.
Shannon's brother left him over last weekend, so I was like, I'll drink one of those and toss one back forward.
It seems like he has a habit of leaving stuff when he comes over, so
he always leaves stuff when he comes over.
I'm sure the door is always open for him. You're right. You're always invited.
On,
yeah. Shows up empty-handed. What? No beer? Yeah.
That hardly ever happens. I don't think he ever comes over when he doesn't have beer in his hand.
Well,
not intentionally, anyway.
But what a good brother-in-law he is, and for doing that. We got Dave in the house from the Beer in Front podcast and now YouTube channel and blog. And welcome. And Dave, I'm going to be sharing some stuff there about the upcoming events. I cracked open one of these beers that is actually going to be one of the beers to be judged as well here in a second. And if y'all don't know Dave and Beer in Front, make sure to check him out, podcast or YouTube channel. Beer in Front, also the website, but always great stuff. He is the man around town in Chicago when it comes to the beer. I've been on the throne. 30% of the USA exists. And when you put it like that, you're right, Mick. I mean, that's she's for a third of the time. The U.S. has been a country. Imagine that. That's crazy. And now you got King Charles, I guess, from Prince Charles to King Charles. I guess I won't call him big ears anymore. But yeah, now that he's actually a king. But he's like what, like 70 something, 80? So
at least.
And I guess if he goes, who's it go to next? Does it go to his kids? Or would it go to like Andrew, like the brother? Because it can't have Andrew because we know he spent a lot of time on Epstein Island, so he can't be king.
I think it goes to the sons, which one of them is not going to be because he's married to Meghan Markle or whatever, I think. And,
well, it can't be Harry. I think it's William before Harry because it goes by age. So I think it's the older of them.
Yeah, I think so.
Because I think Charles was the oldest of the kids that Queen Elizabeth had. And so I think it would go to William in that regard. But yeah.
But I could be wrong on that. I'm not 100% sure. But
yeah. Yeah.
The Game of Thrones anyway.
See, Mick said Charles, then William. And so it's like, just because they're older when it starts going down. Because I think after William, it goes to his son.
I think so.
I'm like, so if you're like the second sibling or beyond, so you're just, you keep the title, but you're never going to be king or queen because, you were too late to the game, which wasn't your fault. It wasn't your fault. You didn't have swimmers in the race, Were they going to hold that against you?
That's why he's like, I'm just screwed. I'm going to go marry Megan and be done with it.
Yeah. But what if you were twins? How would you separate the twins? That'd be the question. Would it be the minute whoever came out first?
Yeah. No, I guess it would have to be like who came out first.
Yeah.
Who was actually the 30 seconds? You got me about 30 seconds.
From the battle of the womb. It's a Royal Rumble going in there. What is happening? First out. I got my foot out. I'm first.
Yeah, it's me out. I'm at first. Would you want that though? I guess you would.
Yeah, but then again, if you're like Harry, you get the backup quarterback job for your career. So I'm the backup. Don't come to me with your shit. Take that over to William. I'm just here in case something would happen, kind of fill in or do something. But yeah. Erie in the house. Cheers, Erie. Good to see you, my friend. They're just going to stuff her and keep her going. Weekend at Liz's, like weekend at Bernie's.
Weekend at Liz's.
Yeah, but 96 years. That's still a good run, right? So that's still a good amount of time for sure.
Pretty solid.
So you gotta give it up for her for actually going that long. That is crazy. So good for her for 96 years. I don't even know. At 96 years, I feel like when I want to be 96 years, I feel like I'd be in that slow walking stage where it's just like the walk to the fridge takes an hour. You know what I mean? Like you just little steps.
Slow me down already.
You're not even stepping. You're taking little slides with slippers on. You're just kind of sliding across the floor.
My brother posted a picture on Facebook of her today. It was like her from when he was born in 68, I think is what. Was that right? 67, 68 when he was born, and maybe her. I don't know how long ago, but she looked the same. Like in 50 years or whatever. Like she looked almost identical. She didn't look hardly any older.
She might have been Scientologist like Tom Cruise. like how old are you, Tom? Like you haven't changed since fucking 1991, first Mission Impossible or whatever. Like,
right?
How old are you right now? We don't know. It's not like a tree where we can cut you open and see the rings. It's just not working. That's the youngest old man I think in Hollywood right now. Yeah,
no kidding.
I think there's another Mission Impossible movie coming out. I'm like, how many of these going to come out? Like seriously.
Especially just did Top Gun, Not,
yeah.
Of course, I know that was a couple years ago because of COVID or whatever, but still.
Yeah, William and his kids before Harry. So William would have to go through all of his kids. Yeah. And if their kids didn't have kids that bounces back to Harry, it's like fucking Uno. It's like now we can reverse. Harry draws 4, all 4 are gone, and then he reverses it back.
By the time he's over, he'll be like, screw it, I don't want it no more. What's your name again? I don't even know who I am anymore.
Oh, we're playing Uno? Or we doing a hierarchy here? What's going on? What's up, Blakey Blake in the house? Cheers, homie. Blake, Erie, how are you, dear? I think he's asking about Erie. I don't think he's calling me dear. I don't believe so. Harry is not Charles' kid. That's the only reason he is allowed to leave rules, duties. Harry is not Charles? I thought Harry was Diane and Charles. So Diane had him with somebody else, and it wasn't. It's closer to Friday, so I'm good. Yeah, but we were just talking before the show. It's been a long week for a short week. What's up, Big Daddy? Cheers.
Big Daddy.
Insufficient clearance of Sketchbook Brewing. God save the queen. Her going that long is usually how it goes. Women keep going. Well, women usually in the past live longer because males were seen as being dying earlier, but it was a different time frame because back then men were the primary earners for a lot of stuff, and they have more stress. Is what science would kind of, I guess, dictate or kind of lead toward. Now the gap is actually closed between women and men because women are out there being earners, and the family dynamic has shifted where both are actually involved. So you see more of a closing now. But she died. Prince Philip was until last year, so they're really almost within a year of each other of dying. I forgot how old he was. I think he might have hit 100. He was close.
Yeah, I can't remember actually.
And I'm going to say because they were in Britain, I'm not going to say it's a fact. I can't call it a fact, but we know Britain loves beer. We know they love their pints. Queen Elizabeth loved having a pint. I'm just saying. Beer a day keeps death away. I'm just saying. Put that on the t-shirt. And then have God save the queen underneath of it. Harry's the gardener's kid. Mr. George, how much you pay this guy? Too much. 95-year-old aunt, she prays for death daily. Real to what? Wow. See, one of my aunt, my great aunt, she lived to be about, I think 93, 94. But she got to a point, she was going around still moving and stuff for the most part, but I guess she started having more of the dementia type things, I think, when she would not start to realize things at that point. Yeah.
I can see that, Big Daddy, though. That'd be the way I think I would be if I got that old. I'd be like, just somebody kill me or just let me die.
Yeah. Diana had an affair with James Hewitt. That's her. Oh, I never knew that. Well, that's interesting.
Ah, okay.
Week went by fast. Well, you're lucky that if your week went by fast, obviously we all kind of moved at the same time, but it just the feeling of it. I feel like this has been a long week. Like I feel like I didn't even have Monday off. That's how busy of a week it's been.
Do you have Monday off?
Well, Labor Day, yeah.
I thought you meant this Monday coming up.
Oh no, not now. We're in the back part of the year, so now the days are a little bit more sporadic when I got to use them. I got to pick and choose and start being a little more strategic to take stuff. So I haven't set up any more. My only next days are coming off we're off obviously for Thanksgiving for the holiday and Christmas for the holiday. And then I get like a company holiday the day after Christmas or the day before Christmas, whatever. I think it's that Friday before Christmas. And then the day after Thanksgiving, some people take that off, but we only work like a half day anyway because the market closes. So anything else I have to plan out there. But I have like 11 days, but I always carry over 5. So I really only have 6 between now and the end of the year. So I have to be strategic when I put them out there. But working from home, I don't look for days as much anymore to take off because I'm right here. That makes a big difference.
That's what I would need to find a job working from home.
Erie meant in the Purway. Erie, I wouldn't be any other surprise if it wasn't in the Purway. You and Gilbert, you guys are both peas in a pot on that. So, speaking of Gilbert, he's drinking an Old Speckled Hen. Well, there you go. That's a beer I've had a few times at our American British-like pubs. I don't know if they're sufficient to really be a pub. If somebody came over from the UK and they'd be like, this is shite, they may say.
Yeah.
It might not be the same as over there, but
right.
In America, they kind of have this thing they do for the pubs. It's kind of like some people go to a Mexican restaurant and they think like the Mexican food at like Chi-Chi's is what they actually serve in Mexico. If you ask Mexican people, they're like, we don't serve anything like Chi-Chi's in actual Mexico. That's just like an American version of.
Yeah.
We don't know what it is because it's not really in Mexico. So I don't even know what the hell Chi-Chi's is doing if you ask.
Or whatever, like.
It's like, we have nothing like that. Like, people go to a Mexican restaurant and ask for a chilito, like a chilito. Which back in the day when Taco Bell had them, they were pretty good. I did like chilitos back in the day.
Yeah, but if you didn't go within a week, they were gone.
Oh, yeah.
Like everything else they have.
They used to have those little cinnamon crisp things too for desserts. I can't remember what they were, like the little
Cinnamon twists.
cinnamon twist. Yeah. Cheers to Paul. PA Brew News is also in the house. Cheers. So the beer I am going to drink. I'm going to drink right. Actually, which one are you going to drink right now? And then I'll do mine afterwards.
So this is the Young's Double Chocolate Stout. Comes in at 5.2 ABV.
Oh, well, that's kind of a little British type feel as well to that one. There you go. Natural British crafted. So
says stout brewed with real chocolate and natural chocolate flavor.
Always that natural.
I know. What else would you put on there? I guess artificial. I don't know.
I want to see a can where it says unnatural flavor. That's what I want to see.
Right. We're going to tell you what it is, but that's all we're going to say.
I'm going to
think it is.
I'm going to drink the beer and be like, this ain't natural. I don't know what's happening. This is not natural taking place.
Kind of throws me off because it has one of those like the, what was it? What beer was that years ago that had the little balls in the can?
Oh, you're talking about the Guinness for the nitro thing?
Well, did Guinness have them in there? But it wasn't a Guinness. I was thinking it was something else, but I can't think of it. It was yellowish. God, what the hell is the can? I don't remember now. I know Guinness used to have them too, but I haven't seen them in a long time. This one has one in it, actually.
Like the widget type thing, you mean, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, be careful saying balls in the beer because Paul's here now too. So.
Well, it tells you, it says warning. It says this can contains a pressurized insert. Do not tamper even when empty. So, I mean, to me, they just be like, okay, so what happens if I do tamper with it? Just tell it's like it operates, like, okay. So you
I feel like
no.
I feel like in America, people probably have tamper because, I mean, you can't tell me not to tamper. Like, it's kind of like somebody's tampered and they shouldn't have, and that's why they put the warning on there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is obviously has happened before. They put that on there.
So I wonder how they do that. They crack it open. So I am actually.
This is what it looks like. A nice little creamy head to it.
Oh yeah. So I'm actually, and this is not a drill. This is the real deal. Because you're like, what is he drinking right there? And it's not the Queen, but it is supposedly, they call themselves the King of Beers. And this is, as you all know, as Todd sits there perplexed, it is a Budweiser. Now, you're probably saying, why the hell is Rod drinking a Budweiser on the show? I mean, it is a beer channel, so it's not always craft beer that I drink, but I'm actually part of an event taking place that Dave's is here for Beer in Front, so actually I'm going to be part of a judging panel that we're going to do on different beers, old school beers and craft beers that are over 21 years old. And one of the beers on it was Budweiser. So just rather than going back off of memory off of it, I thought I would actually just crack one open and actually taste it. So for those of you not aware, I'm going to share the screen here. Once I can pull it up. Let's see here. So this is an awesome thing that Dave put together. So he's going to be doing the Beer in Front Awards for 2022. And these are all the judges that'll be on there. So we'll get the weekly beer show. You got myself. Damn, I was fit back then. I could use those muscles nowadays. Oh, that was early on in some of the beer stuff. But yeah, I'm trying to get back there. I'm working in the gym right now, so we got Wish You Were Beer, another great one, Wish You Were Beer show. They actually do a YouTube channel as well as a podcast they do their thing on Thursday nights too. They start a little bit earlier than I do, like around 8 or so, but another great channel to check out. We got Ruvani, who's Amethyst Heels, who I've actually had on before on here on the channel. So she's going to be actually one of the judges there. And then we've got Strive, Seek, Find, Chance Whitmore, that does the podcast on beer as well. We got the Tap the Craft podcast, which is awesome. So they're actually doing it, so make sure to check them out. And we also got Lauren, who actually hosts one of the probably more interesting podcasts I think I've seen, the Beer and Weird Al Yankovic podcast. So they are very much in tune with Weird Al Yankovic. So if you're a Weird Al Yankovic fan, you'll find all kinds of funny stuff and great stuff happening on their podcast, as that is like the center of attention. So great channel there. We also got Hop Geek News with Matt and Lauren. We've also got Grant Agbafi, who's also in Chicago where Dave is. So he's going to be one of the beer judges. We got State of Hoppy, another one to actually check out. And we got Bum Wine Bob, which that's a name I do like, the Bum Wine Bob. That's a pretty good name there for a person working in beer, doing the beer stuff and his podcast. We've also got Brian, who's actually part of the St. Louis beer community, as noted there, and Porch Drinking. If you read some of the things online, especially like here on Twitter, some of the things I shared, like from Porch Drinking, he actually is a contributor over there. We got Mark here, who also based out of Syracuse, New York, so not too far from Beer Patrol and No Hype Beer Reviews, but beer lover and all around geek. And then we've got DT from Space Castle podcast. We've also got Hop Nation USA with Stephen Adam, Craft Beer Safari out of Arizona. We also have Joel Gear, who is part of the Brewery Travels podcast. And of course, we got Tawanda, Afro Beer Chick, who's been on the channel here with me a few times out of Chicago as well. And then we've got Jeff and Jeff of I Like the Beer podcast. And of course, there's a great man that put it all together, Dave Zalatoris of Beer in Front. So honored to be a part of that upcoming, and that will be some fun things to take place. But I need to put the link here in the chat. And so for anybody that may want to check that out, there's the link as well in the chat. So a lot of good things. And so one of the beers, as I mentioned, is actually Budweiser. So that's the one I'm going to actually crack open. And he had mentioned he actually had a Schlitz, which is on the list as well. So talking about old school, that goes old school. Now Schlitz, I don't know if I can get Schlitz here. I have to check a couple spots. Now, if I was back in Cincinnati, I could have got Schlitz. I've had the Jetty Cream Ale. Haven't seen it here, but back out there, I could have got it. Stroh's was out there. Haven't seen Stroh's here. So there's something that might be a little hard for all of us to get, but it's a mix across the board that we're looking at.
Yeah, I can only get Jenny Cream Ale, and I can only get it over in Kentucky.
Yeah. So the distribution is definitely limited on some of the things. And right here he's like, "What the fuck? Pour it out." You didn't think I would do that, right? And then Dave said, "Todd, you're also welcome to help judge as well. So if you like to judge, we can get your information over to Dave too, and he can get you the list of all the beers we're going to look at there. So, which you've had a good amount of them.
So are you going to do it on? Is it going to be on his podcast, or are you going to do it on YouTube, or what's the deal on that?
Well, I think he's going to talk about it some on the podcast, but the website is on WordPress, so the website's out there for the awards off to his website, and then we'll have the results posted there on the website as well. But I'm sure he'll talk about it in his podcast. I'll talk about it here on the show. The other people that are involved, they're going to be talking about it on their stuff. So it'll be definitely around for sure.
That's cool.
But like one of the other beers was should have went. Well, Hams is actually on the list too, Gilbert. So I will be looking to get a Hams, and that's another one. Like I don't know if I gotta find from my other stores they actually have it here, but that was like Cincinnati had like a lot of different stuff, especially like Jungle Gyms and stuff like that out there. It was so easy to get a lot of them, a lot more. But we're gonna see what we can do. But a lot of good ones on there. I get you Schlitz when I get the New Glarus. Yeah, like Dave's gonna get New Glarus, which is on there, which is not something usually around here. But like Pliny the Elder was on there as well. And the people that are out west have a little bit more of an opportunity on that one as well. And then Dave said the live show will be December 16th with all the results and everything. So that'll be a live show there. So if you haven't checked out Beer in Front and the YouTube channel, let's see if I can grab that here. Beer in Front. So there's Dave's channel for Beer in Front as well. Check it out. Sub so you can see that. Big Daddy's got a PBR extra. I think PBR's on the list, so I'll be doing a PBR as well to actually rate out there, which I got nothing wrong with PBR. PBR extra I've actually had before too.
I don't mind PBR at all. Just regular PBR.
Yeah, so what we're looking at is appearance, aroma, taste, and then overall. And it's all simple. Dave has it weighted, but you do a 1 to 10 on those categories. And then the overall, the final score will be the composite of the numbers you put into it. So again, so it's pretty easy, pretty simple. 1 to 10 along those lines. I'm looking at one of the sheets there. But that being said, I'm going to crack open a Budweiser because we know you don't want to let a Budweiser get warm.
That'd be a bad influence for sure.
Yeah. I can't think of the last time I've actually had a Budweiser though. So this is like a 16-ounce pint can I picked up, so I get like just the individual there. And then of course that look you get off the Budweiser, lots of carbonation. As far as like an adjunct lager, it's got a decent appearance, right? So it's always going to be like kind of that filtered look. You have a nice streaming bubbles. If I would have had to etch glass, they'd even be streaming a little bit more. You get the white on white head. I mean, Budweiser doesn't really change as much in appearance. So when you kind of think of it, that's what you're thinking of. Now, when we do the review, it's basically to our personal liking on stuff. It's how we're doing it. So not to style, but to personal liking as well.
Okay.
And you still get the same grassy, grainy type feel. I would say the corn feel is a little bit more subdued with this type of beer. Like sometimes you get it and you just feel corn jumping out at you. And this one's not bad. Still pretty much crisp and refreshing.
Crushable for sure.
Crushable, grassy in the mouth. You get a little bit of the aftertaste. That's where you kind of get hit with the adjunct on the aftertaste more than on the aroma. But, you sit it out there, you put a light behind it. It's a decent enough lager to actually sit back and enjoy. And we're so spoiled now with all the craft beer. It's kind of like you feel like you're drinking cardboard sometimes with some of these adjunct lagers. But
right, yeah,
they are what they are. And at the time, that's what you went with. So
for what they're meant to be for the most part.
And these beers always bring up more of a nostalgia for me from high school and stuff, because that's what we were drinking back in the 80s and stuff for the most part. But I can still put it down all right with no problem. See, Todd's got one of the dogs scratching at the door. I can't hold it no more.
No, here comes the other one. One goes out, the other one has to go out.
Yeah. See my friend? Your friend's outside right now.
Come on. He probably, I don't know if he could you see the other one? She's tall.
No, I didn't see the other one. He's
a tall greyhound. The one I just let out, he's a little bitty short guy.
Yeah.
Can't see him on camera probably. But Jenny, she's an old racing greyhound, so she stands pretty tall.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I don't know if you
can see on the camera or not.
Because if she probably gets on her hind legs, it probably stacks up like when she's your shoulders or something.
Oh, if she were to stand on her, yeah, she'd probably be taller than I was, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, it'd be interesting to see. I don't know. Her head's as tall as like a kitchen counter. That's how tall she is. Like her head is level with the counter. She don't so much, but we used to have another one. We lived in her other house. He was He's always looking for something to steal off the counter all the time.
Oh, was he?
Yeah. They're good dogs, though.
But yeah, so King of Beers, Budweiser, so I'm drinking now. So I'm drinking old school beer. Like, what are some of your favorite old school beers, or anybody in the chat? Like,
Old school beers.
talking more of the macro stuff, of course.
I mean, I don't know. Probably PBR's probably got to be one of the tops for me. But I do like Budweiser too, though. It's not bad. I mean, you go, along those lines of those types of beers. I even like a Hams. I think Hams, especially for the price that you can get those things at.
Yeah.
I don't think Hams is that bad.
Well, you get a Hams 30-pack for so cheap, like.
Oh yeah, what, $16 or something like that? I don't know what it is now, but.
Yeah, so it makes it decent enough for sure. Bud was my first beer. My dad gave me a half can when I was in kindergarten. He yelled at me when I brought it out on the porch to sip. Poor parent. I think we all do that kind of stuff like that. I remember my grandparents, they would always have like the little short Miller High Life bottles.
Oh yeah.
And it'd be in the fridge. They would like, go get me a Miller High Life or whatever, to crack it open. I would, you'd always take a little sip, There was such a little bottle, you didn't take much out of it because they were so small. Like you didn't want to. You try to be sneaky, but you knew it was so small. But yeah, that was the first thing for me. Really, was the Miller High Life.
I think Dad, and my aunts and stuff did. My mom wasn't, still isn't today, not much of a drinker of anything. Not to say she won't have a drink every now and again, but I can remember as a kid, they. Just like probably like we did with our daughter. Hey, try this, and you'd be like, "Oh, this is terrible," Okay, remember that.
Like, why would anybody ever do this? Oh, what's up, Vanessa? It's like, why do y'all drink this? This is no good. And then later on, we're drinking it. Still a decent beer. You can find a 30-pack sometimes for 10. So
yeah,
there you go. Of course, he has Benny's up there, which has crazy deals too.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
About like no, not about. It's not even close to Jungle Gems, but their beer, they do have a really good. The beer selection there is great. Yeah. I mean, it's a liquor store, but it's a good.
I see Gilbert said OV, Moosehead, PBR, and Busch Original. Now we do have Busch on the list as well to actually drink. I haven't drank a Busch in. I can't remember when I drank a Busch last. It's definitely been a while. Moosehead, now the Moosehead I've drank in the Moosehead Lager, we get that at the little corner store we have here. So I've had that earlier this year. Back in the 80s and 90s, I would drink some Moosehead. It was funny, like the late 80s, early 90s. It was like Canadian beer was like, oh, that's a special beer right there, because
Canadian,
yeah. Now it's just like, it's another beer, whatever,
Yeah.
Yeah, just one of those great things again.
We used to drink Red Dog and
Ice House. Red Dog and Ice House.
Yeah, so because you think you were getting a deal when you were buying their 6% or 6.5% or 7% or whatever. I don't even know if they were that much, but so I think they're at least 6%.
Now I'll tell you, other ones on the list. Coors is on the list, so I have to get one of those. And whenever you think of Coors, I always think of Smokey and the Bandit because that's what they were calling. Yeah. The Jenny Cream Ale, the Guinness Draft, Iron City. Now Iron City's not something you really see as much nowadays too, so that's really old school. Lone Star, which I have a Lone Star like one of those beer necklaces around here from somewhere when they were at one of the beer fests one time. Old Style, another one you don't see as much.
We can get Old Style here too now.
Yeah,
I say now because you used to only be able to get them over in Kentucky, but I think we can get them. I think some of our liquor stores around here carry them.
Yeah,
course, I know that was always big going up to Chicago for a long,
You have Stroh's. With Stroh's made a comeback, coming back out with their stuff now. Although I don't think they're bringing they don't have a new Alex or anything. Like, how you have Stroh's and not have Alex the dog? I mean, that was part of it.
Is Old Style one of the beers on your all's list?
Yeah, that's what it was on the list too.
Okay, so I think that's a pretty good one too, actually.
Yeah,
I didn't even think about that one. That would be a good one.
So the list has like macros for part of it, as the old stuff, and then there's like craft beers that were at least 21 years old. So it's a different group they have there. So you have like Sierra Nevada Pale Ales on that list. You have like Shiner Box on the list, Stone IPA. Now, one of the ones though, I was going to say, since Dave was here, that's not over 21, like Sweetwater 420 is on the list, which I like the 420, but that's not 21 on that one. Dogfish Head 90, Bell's Two Hearted, Anchored Steam. So a lot of these ones I've actually had. The Red Hook ESB, I've had that before too. So I kind of know some of them. If I don't get my hands on them, I already know how I kind of feel about those anyway. But there's some good ones that are on there.
So it's not just all like macro type.
Right. Allagash White's on there. Yeah. The Sam Adams Boston Lager, Since I haven't had a macro in a while, I said, well, let me get some macros for tonight and see what we do. Big Guy says he misses Red Dog 5.5%. Yeah. Isn't that funny, though, when you think about when Red Dog came out? They were a 5.5% ABV, and it was just like seen as this big step up, right? Because Bud and everything was like a 5, or the Bud Lights and stuff were lower. And now we're like fucking, if it's not 14%, I ain't even messing with it. Like,
5%? What is this? An A beer? What is this?
That's just how the beer world has changed. Now it's like people get to Bourbon County, like, well, what's that ABV? Oh, we're like 14.1 this year. All right. It's kind of like 3 times more almost on some of the stuff, or more than 3 times on something. Like you get some of the Avery beers, you're like 18, 19% on some of their stuff.
That was one of the reasons we got them back then. Was talking in the early '90s, like just to get them because they were 5.5%, 6%.
Yeah.
It's like it's a way better price than not really, but just taking your big. Woo, 6%. All right.
It's like nobody wanted to drink the 40s or the Schlitz Bulls, but
Right.
the ABV was a lot higher. Miller Lite tastes like piss. And Gilbert says, yeah, that's something you could have in there, Dave, on the list too. It's like the old Schlitz Red Bull. It came out in '97. Really Sweetwater 420.
No kidding.
Am I thinking of the right one with Sweetwater though? I'm thinking of the weed beer. That would be the 420 series. I guess we just never saw it up here until recently. I thought it was lower. Okay. Well, we never corrected.
Yeah, we never got them here.
We never got them to it a few years ago. Yeah.
Maybe 10 years ago. It may not have been that long ago.
Cool. Well, there you go. New fact learned. So it was one of the old boys. I do like the 420, although the one, my favorite is still like the one that they did with Be Real, I think. Well, that might be my second favorite to the 420. I'd have to go back and retest them side by side. But some good beers, and we'll see how it goes. Like Big Sky Moose Drool. I've heard of that one before, but I don't think I've had that. I don't think I've had it on my Untapped anywhere. I've come across that.
Moose Drool, I've had that one.
Yeah. The Big Sky, are they out of like Montana or something? Because I think out west.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure if that's somebody gave me one of those. I don't remember where I even got it from now, but
if you have enough,
I think one of the people I used to work with a long time ago at Iowa, and the company was based out of Iowa that I worked for. It's like she brought one. She came from Iowa and brought me. I gave her $100 or something to give me some, bring back a bunch of beers.
Yeah.
I think it was one of them at one point.
I said, if you drink enough of them, do you drool like a moose? Blake says, vodka and Smurf Juice is the best. 100 proof vodka in a mason jar.
That is Montana.
Yeah.
Missoula, Montana.
Missoula, Montana. Okay, I guess that is the Big Sky State.
Yeah, it's a brown ale.
Yeah. And I'll say, Dave, why I got you there in the chat. If you want to come on and talk about what we're doing, that's fine too. Just let me know and I can send you the link. I don't know if you're caught up in anything right now, but just throw that out there. But no, it's fun. Everybody that's involved is definitely pumped about it. So
it's a good idea. That'd be cool. It'd be interesting to follow on that for sure.
Oh yeah. Well, we had that one there, and no one's put together. Another idea would be like the best beers of this year too, because the way Dave's doing a format for this is pretty good. But it'd be nice to do a format for the year as well, to do like a year-end, New Year's, Christmas special or something.
Yeah, I'll think about it. I would kind of feel bad because everybody. I know he invited me in to do that, but everybody else has a channel of some sort, so I'd feel bad to.
Well, technically, you're part of Toss One Back Thursday. So
well,
it's like, I mean,
true,
and we have the brewery already coming out with the Rod and Todd beers, so All right, Dave. Let me know when you're ready, and I'll shoot you a thing over so we get Dave up here to talk about what we're doing as well, and while you get all coordinated with the wife and the dog there. Yeah, I was going back and forth on what picture I wanted to use for, and actually his wife voted for the one that I actually went with there. So, I felt like I should have a beer in front of me. I mean, I got a Guinness shirt, but I should have a beer in front of me or something like that. That was actually a pretty good shot. That was at one of the gastro pubs that I was at in Cincinnati when I took that one.
Which one?
On the website that I was showing with the judges.
Oh.
Yeah, I was debating, like, going with a picture of the beers in front of me, or just a picture of me, or the logo, and trying to figure out what I want to put on the artwork there. So he said she voted. She said that's the one to go with. I was like, okay, we'll take her vote. But yeah, this beer was like Budweiser, it was ice cold, so no problem getting it down.
When's the last time you actually had one of those, you think?
An actual Budweiser?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think offhand. I mean, I could cheat, look at my Untapped thing, but I'm thinking even when we did the golf tournament when I was in Kentucky, it was always Bud Light they gave me for free, so it wasn't even actually Bud then. It's probably been 7-8 years like that. I was probably somewhere fucking like an Applebee's or something, and it was just like you were eating. It was like I want to get a beer, and it's like, oh, we just only have these on tap type thing, and I probably got it there or something.
Actually, I admittedly have to say I've had it several times this year, but we've been out at places like they don't now because it's ended because the summer's over, about to end. They had like a Friday night riverfront type deal where they had like
like a band or something playing, and
so they would have some craft beers, and I would get an IPA of some sort. But then sometimes I'd be like, I'll just get a Budweiser.
Yeah, I may have had something like that at one of the sporting events. Now that you mention that, like before we left, like going to one of the Reds games, or I know we went to the Cyclones hockey game. Usually we would have like PBR because it was like PBR is always like $1 or something like that. Or we had like the big thing. We would have a suite, so you did the big thing where you would fill it up with beer and you just have a private type thing. So, but yeah, Budweiser might have been a little bit longer. I don't know, but it still feels the same. It still goes down the same. It doesn't change. I mean, that's the formula they've been using. That's the formula they're going to stick with, and it's the formula that worked for them. I was thinking back to when I did a beer fest for Taste of Cincinnati before for one of the beer booths for Budweiser, but we were actually drinking the Budritas instead of the Bud or Bud Light.
Oh
yeah. We were mixing the flavors up. That was a good Memorial Day.
Was it though?
Yeah. For a while, yeah.
Yeah. Next day, probably not so much. But...
Yeah. It's like mixing Mad Dog flavors, right? Like, did anybody ever mix Mad Dog flavors? I don't think we ever did that. We never got that crazy with Mad Dog. It was like whatever one you got, but I bet there were people that probably mixed it up, just like if they were doing a 7-Eleven soda.
I mean, I don't know that you could actually do any worse if you were to mix them, could you?
Probably not. You might even do better because you might find some pairing that works better.
You might actually improve the taste on it. Give you a Mad Dog suicide.
Yeah. Yeah, the one thing about coming to Baltimore here, because we were in Kentucky, we didn't have any 7-Eleven. So coming here to Baltimore, it's like 7-Elevens are everywhere. And it's kind of so when I go into one, it's like nostalgia and stuff like that. And you see the big gulp machine and kind of stuff. You're like, I wonder what flavors they got over there now that you can mix together. If it's still the same or they added some new stuff in,
we don't have one close to us either. The only one that we used to have that I only knew of anyway, it changed to, I don't know, it's probably some foreign guy that, a gas station or whatever. I don't know. I can't even tell you what the name of the place is. I pass it every single day on the highway. It's off on the side road, but you can see it from the highway.
Yeah.
I can't even think of what the name of it is now, but they still sell gas and stuff. But it used to be a 7-Eleven when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Right over by the Little League Park, so we could stop in there all the time and get, slushies or whatever, candies or whatever to get out of there.
Yeah.
I remember the kids going there because they used to have it was a baseball game. I can't remember what the hell it was, what the baseball game was, but they were like, I don't know if it was RBI or what. My daughter's coming in, so the dog is crazy. But they had a great baseball game, and then I remember going there, and we'd stay for, they probably even rode our bikes up there, even though we wasn't supposed to ride the bikes over that way, but stay there playing the arcade game forever.
Oh, yeah. It's funny you mentioned that. It made me think back, like being a kid and parents, they don't ride your bikes to places, and we rode them anywhere. We were just like, and it was just like an adventure back then. You and your friends just riding the bikes to places you ain't supposed to be going to,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They're like, you ain't supposed to go over there. What are you, scared? Like, I'm not scared.
Gonna get grounded.
People try to punk you out, and then you're just like, all right, let's do it then.
I'll show you.
Oh, man, yeah. The adventure times we had as children. So
I got your scared right here.
Big Daddy said 10 years ago I drank 22 buds at a barbecue, 12 hours. So sick the next day. Last time he learned the hard way. Bud isn't always your bud after a certain point,
No, that's for sure.
Or maybe you should have changed the bud that you were doing. Oh, yeah. So we're going to get Dave get all situated, and we'll get him popped in here in a second. And, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, you're good. What were you going to say?
I was talking to my daughter for a second, so I put it on mute, but accidentally unmuted it.
So, yeah, last week we didn't do the show because I was actually watching the Pitt WVU game, and that was heartbreaking, but a lot of good stuff that happened from it too, though. But it's nice to have college football back for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. Our team pulled off.
Did Indiana? I was saying, did they even play? I didn't even hear anything about them playing.
Yeah, they had their game actually on Friday night last week.
Who they play?
They played Illinois.
Okay.
So it was a conference win, which they were 0-8, I guess, last year in conference play.
They were that bad in conference. What was their record last year?
2-10, I think.
I didn't know they were that bad. Wow.
Yeah. So they lost to Cincinnati, which I'm sure they scheduled 10 years ago, but then Cincinnati was really good last year.
Yeah.
Lost that game, then they lost to, I think they lost one other non-conference game, but I can't remember who it was now. Yeah, I think they were 2-10. I
Well,
believe is what their record was.
I think there was one game that probably had the most people rooting against the team, and that was LSU and Florida State. I think about 95% of the country was rooting against Brian Kelly.
I heard on the radio today that was the first time, the first game ever coached. Well, let's see, I'll say it. The first time a first game coach ever lost a game for LSU. Like the first time they ever coached for LSU.
For the first time, like the first game?
That was the first game that every coach they've ever had in their history has ever lost the very first game they've ever coached at LSU.
Oh, wow.
I heard down the radio today. I thought that was kind of crazy. I was like, really? It's kind of hard to believe.
So everybody else had won their first game when they took over LSU.
Yeah, never lost. Yeah, they're a new head coach. They've never lost a game on the first initial game. Of course, I can't imagine any of them actually. I don't know. I shouldn't say that. Florida State. It's not Florida State of old, but they're coming back a little bit.
They're coming back some, but
still,
I mean, it couldn't happen to a nicer guy, right? So I was probably that 95% rooting against Brian Kelly.
In his post-game conference, a guy showed up like 10 minutes late. So he said he was going to start charging everybody that showed up late $10, and then he was going to have a big party at the end of the year. So he comes to. They were talking about on the radio today. It's like, first off, that's not even a demand. Like, reporters don't have to go to these things. How is he going to charge them? And the guy just sounded like $100 million contract. Why wouldn't he not just pay for it anyway?
That's the little shit that people hate about Brian Kelly. Right?
Yes, they're just bashing on him big time. I was cracking up.
I'm not surprised by it. But it was just interesting. I mean, they had their shots to pull that game out.
Yeah, they did. Wow.
And then Dave, I just sent it to your Twitter as well.
Did you see that game at all?
Yeah, I watched about the part of the third quarter on. I watched
the last 4 minutes was crazy.
Yeah, that was something there.
Forced a chance to play, and then all of a sudden, we went in overtime.
Yeah. We got the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Chi-Town himself, Dave Z in the house. Dave Zalatoris, welcome, my friend. Great to have you on.
Gentlemen, thanks for having me. Todd, I had to grab it for you. Grabbed an old style.
All right.
Oh, look at that. Got the old style out. Are you doing it now for the chart?
Yeah, I've had this before. I already did. I put it on the score sheet earlier, but this was in the fridge. So I'm like, all right, well, I know Todd was talking about old style a few minutes ago. So I'm like, let me grab one of those.
My father-in-law wanted to get those before you could get them around here anywhere. So my brother-in-law found them one time a couple of years ago. So he got him like a case of them for Christmas.
You know, it's weird. Like going through that list.
You're local, so I don't know if he gets them that often or not now. But
yeah, Pabst runs, or they own most of the beers that are on that macro list. Like PBR runs old style now, Stroh's, Lone Star. So most of those macros are all run by PBR now. So I think they're distributed more. You could find them more better, now.
That would make sense. Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah.
I think he just remembered like the nostalgia of it from when he was a kid or whatever, growing up like old style is, back in the day.
Yeah. I mean, this was never a Budweiser town. It was Chicago was always an old style town. So that's what I wound up, sipping, sneaking from, my folks. Like when my dad wasn't drinking a Stroh's, he was drinking an old style, or like my grandfather, I would always sneak an old style from him.
I love how we all have stories of that.
Even like TV shows based out of Chicago, everybody's always drinking old styles or whatever.
Yeah.
But Dave, again, I've told people that don't know Beer in Front to definitely check you out, of course. But the work you put into this whole thing is actually freaking awesome. So I'm pumped to be a part of that and everything. And anything you want to add on it? Anything you want to talk about on it? Kind of share?
It's something and like Todd, you're more than welcome. Jump on in, brother. I don't care. I've got some other friends that they don't have anything to plug. They're just people with a drinking problem like the rest of us. So you're more than welcome, sir. Come on in.
Put it that way.
Yeah. But no, it's something I thought about a couple weeks. I took a week off, and I'm thinking of something different. Like, everybody's show is different. Everybody, and they talk about beer, but everybody has their own little niche. And I think right now mine's pretty much like the old school stuff. So I'm like, let's maybe come up like the best of the macros and best of like the old school craft beer that's 21. And then if this takes off, maybe next year we'll do like best imports or best light beers. And then, maybe branch out with different craft beer categories, like, maybe just do like the best IPA or best something that's 21 years or older. So
That's
it's just
cool.
something that, came to mind during like a little break.
Nice. Well, no, thanks for educating me. I didn't realize Sweetwater had that around for as long because we just only got them a few years ago. So that's awesome too. Because that's one of the beers I really do enjoy.
Yeah, I think I can still get that here. There's a few that I need to put the word out. Like I can't get Iron City. Like Red Hook used to be here all the time. I can't get Red Hook. Pliny, I need to put the word out. And then New Glarus, they're an hour and a half drive, so I could drive up to Wisconsin, grab those, and I can get some out to you guys or whatever. But yeah, most of them I could get here, and that's kind of the reason for some of them that I picked. I'm like, well, I don't want to make it too hard for myself. I'm the one, this is all, no one's sponsoring this. This is all coming out of our own pockets. So stuff that was, easily accessible.
Yeah. Yeah, where Todd's at, north of him now in Cincinnati, where I was, like the place we talk about, Jungle Gyms, that was kind of like an emporium for all kinds of. If I was still there, I'd be like, I could probably grab this, I can grab that. I couldn't get like Pliny or something like that there because that's more of the West Coast, but most of the other stuff was just right there for the taking. So I got a couple spots I found here that I've seen to have some good opportunities. So I just have to run through and see what they got and grab some things. But in compiling the list, and I'm gonna grab a beer in a second while you talk, but in compiling the list, what are some of the ones like you maybe kicked out you think of? Like I told you earlier, like I took my list with me when I picked up some beers because I wasn't sure, and I almost grabbed like a Yingling because I'm thinking, Yingling has to be on the list, but it wasn't. So were there beers?
Yeah, that was out? One I was kicking back. It went back and forth, but I can't get it here. I talked about it on the show like in June, so I'm like, well, it's something I've already talked about, but if a lot of the people are more Midwest based, I'm like, if they can't get it, then why have it on there? So, it's a great beer. It's, stood the test of time, but it's not easily accessible to people in the Midwest or who live out on the West Coast.
So Illinois doesn't get Yingling?
No.
Yeah.
Never have.
Crazy.
Well, I think Michigan just got it.
I know.
So
I mean,
they're like in 37, 38 states, I think, and stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking it's more than that now, but yeah. Because we just got them, I don't know, within the last 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it's even been that long, honestly, but
It's a slow growth plan. America's oldest brewery, you still can't get in all of America, so yeah. It's like, why don't you open up the gates? And the Big Daddy, he's actually out there in Chicago with you, and he says, damn, I wish Yingling was in Chicago, right? So, yeah.
You would think of all places they'd at least,
Yeah. And like Genesee Cream
Illinois,
Ale.
just for Chicago alone, you would think.
Yeah. I didn't even know Genesee Cream Ale was here. A couple people said, hey, you got to put Genesee on your list. And then I just happened to like go on their website and they have like a beer finder thing. I'm like, oh, my chain liquor store carries them. So I'm like, all right, I'll add that to the list because that's a huge beer. Everybody knows Genesee Cream Ale.
I just had the first Genesee Cream Ale because we can't get them in Indiana. Now I work over in Kentucky in Louisville, which we can get them over there, but we just get the cream ale.
Okay.
So Joe, the Beer Patrol, always talks about Genesee all the time and all these variants that he gets from them. I'm like, those sound amazing, but he always likes the cream ale, as a nostalgia. I was like, so when I picked one up, you can get like a case of them here for like $16 or something like that. And I was like, man, that's a good beer for $16. I'm like, hell yeah. But I can't get them here, so I was like, there's a liquor store right down the street from work, so I can get them there.
It's like Rajay deal not needed for those.
So that's a nice refrigerator stocker that doesn't cost an arm and a leg, and you can send them out to whoever,
Yeah, the funny thing with Jenny Cream Ale, so when I was in Northern Kentucky, Cincinnati area, I had like one store I could actually get those. Well, actually, I had two, but one you had to buy like a 12 pack, but one sold Tall Boys of them that I could actually pick up. Now I'm in Baltimore on the East Coast. I don't even see Genesee and stuff,
Really?
which is crazy. Yeah, and I used to see like Genesee. I used to see Genesee Cream Ale, or our local Kroger would have Genesee Ice Tall Boys, which that's the first time I saw Genesee Ice was there. I didn't see it in any other spot. So distribution on beers is still that thing where it's just like you don't know where they're going to show up at and stuff.
Yeah,
like,
that's crazy.
Yeah. But I mean, no, the list is a fun list on stuff, and to take a look at some of the things. Obviously, you had to have Sierra Nevada on there, right? Yes, that's automatic.
Mm-hmm.
Boston, Sam Adams, Boston, you had to have that on there. That's just there's certain ones that are just have to be there. But like one of them, I don't think I've had it, but I think I may have seen it before. That Bear Republic, I'm actually interested in that one.
Yeah,
I've heard really good things about that beer. Yeah,
I talked about that on my show a couple weeks ago. And I just saw it here for the first time in years. And I happened to grab it. And, that's just an old school killer West Coast IPA. So if you like, the OG West Coast style, you're going to love Bear Republic. So that one's really good. They have a rye. It's called Hop Rod. I don't even know if they still make it. But that was like one of my go-tos back in the day when all you could buy like good craft beer was in the bombers. You couldn't get them in a 6-pack. It was just those big 22-ounce bombers.
Right.
But that Hop Rod rye was always my favorite.
Okay. Well,
only one from them I think I've ever had, and I'm looking now, is the Racer 5 IPA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Sure, which I guess is probably
and that's the one on the list that Dave has is the Racer 5. Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So that one I can get here. Like I know my chain liquor store, like you mentioned Jungle Jim's.
Mm-hmm.
Like the big one here in Chicago is called Binny's. So I could get it at Binny's, and they even have it like in your mix pack where you could build your own 6-pack. So, a lot of the beers that I grabbed, I just did that. Okay, let me grab one of this, fill up my mix pack so I could start knocking them off.
Yeah.
Now I have been to Binny's.
All right.
I went there years ago for work and stayed a couple of days and had to do a couple of shows or something while we were up there. So I was like, one place I definitely want to go, and because we drove up to Chicago, so I was like, told the guy one of our sales guys I went with, I was like, I'm going to Benny's and bringing back a whole shit ton of beer. I don't care what.
Oh yeah.
So I loaded up when I was like, I could have, like Ryan said, I could have just here's my card. Just stick it open. That's fake.
Yeah, I kicked myself for not ever getting to Benny's. For the times we did go up there, we drove up from Cincinnati and just never got a chance to get over there. And usually when I drive out of town, I always look for the beer stores now because I load up to bring stuff back for the beer run. So, and it's like, man, from all stuff I had heard about, I wish I would have got out there. So,
Benny's, Rod, probably reminds me of like, what was the one with the Braxton Labs inside of it?
That's Party Source.
Party Source. It kind of reminds me of a Party Source.
That's pretty good, then. Yeah.
Size-wise,
yeah.
Maybe with a little bit bigger beer selection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Their beer selection was even as big as like Jungle Jim's, though.
And Benny's, like, depending on the neighborhood you go to, because they're all over. It's a chain here.
Right.
Like, if you get some that are in, like, trendy neighborhoods, like, they sell out of, like, your Hop Butcher, things like that, like, right away. But the one that I go to, it's a great neighborhood, but it's not like the young hip people are buying beer. So I could always go, I could wait a few days and I could still get the Hop Butcher there because it's not selling out right away. So I know like that's a good neighborhood to shop at because I don't have to be first in line to get it.
Well, it's like Todd's been up. I used to live in Northern Kentucky. He came up to visit a couple times. We took him to a couple of the beer stores, and one of the places we went to was a place called Depth, where we get these deals on beer. And it's like 80% of the people that drink beer there drink macro. So when they got crafted, they didn't even know what they usually had. So you get these crazy deals on stuff, and it's like, I forgot, what did we like? You got like a Magnum that we got of the DeVille or something like that, everything, and it was like $5 or something, like a huge like bottle. This is like, I'm like, they're always like this on different things they have because the people in this area, they haven't got into craft yet. So they got to start moving merchandise. So they start doing these deals and stuff like that and everything. So
yeah, there's like the local grocery store here is Jewel, and back before like now, I don't drink Founders. If people want to, that's their business. Personally, I don't drink them.
My man.
But the Jewel, you would see like the Jewel back before people know what Founders was. They didn't know what the beer was, so they'd have KBS in their mix pack for like nothing. So everybody would just put 4 of those in there and then 2 other beers for $9.99. Yeah.
Back when there was they like $9, $4.50, $5 a bottle or whatever.
Yeah.
I've seen at Kroger where they've done that with beers that are like your premium beers, and someone stocked the shelves, didn't realize what they had, and it's like, okay, I'll take a 6-pack out of the $9.99 thing because they're all over here.
Yeah.
It's not my fault. It's not my issue. I don't have to correct them for making a mistake.
Yeah.
That's not my job.
I can't tell you last time I bought a Founders beer. Now I've got some, some backwood bastard or whatever down. KBS is still downstairs in the shelf or whatever, but I haven't bought one since all that happened. Actually, probably.
Yeah.
Well, people would ask me sometimes, like, "Were you mad if I do a like?" I can't control what you do. If you want to drink a Founders, I mean, it's just for me. I'm at a different level than you're at, so it just doesn't work for me. Like people say, "Well, you think I should pour it out?" I'm like, "You paid for it already. If you want to pour it out, that's like." I'm like, I'm not one of those guys. If a player leaves the team, let's go burn the jersey because that player might come back.
Right.
And guess what? They already got your money, so you might as well keep the jersey.
Yeah, I mean, if you paid for it 5 years ago, hey, the money's they already have the money. You might as well drink it. But I'm not going to spend any money. I haven't spent any money on them in probably 5-6 years.
Yeah. So let me see here. Get some of the comments.
Even when we was just in Michigan not too long ago, we drove right past Founders. And Shane looked at me. She's like, "You want to stop?" I was like, I want to stop, but I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop. Like I don't.
There's enough other breweries there that you'll be okay.
Yeah.
Cheers, Dorito. Welcome, buddy. I'm beating that button like a redheaded stop child. Is that still politically correct in 2022? Can you say that still? I guess.
Who knows what the hell you can say anymore?
Don't get canceled, Dorito. Bear Republic Hop Rod Rye, one of my old school faves, Big Daddy says. So he knows about it. JV in the house. Cheers. Another guest. Cheers, Rod, J, and crew. Cheers to have you, JV. Awesome. Cheers, Dave. What up, Rod? Hey, Todd. Cheers, Dave. And the rest got Dr. Didi. So Didi comes in. He's a beer drinker down in North Carolina. We always ask him, what time's the tea time? Because he plays golf every freaking Friday. So what's the tea time out there for tomorrow morning?
Well, it's at least 7:45 to 8:30. It's
usually. I mean, he has to get to the office at some point,
Well, they have cell phones.
Let me see. What street is Dave's been on? Because Big Daddy's in Chicago with you, so you let the cat out of the bag. You have a
it's
shopper.
on Irving Park, like just past Six Corners. So if you're in the Six Corners neighborhood on Irving Park, that one you could usually, get your hot butchers. You don't have to, be in line on Thursday to get it. They have everything that all the other Binnies do, but they're just not as into craft beer in that neighborhood. So that's the one I go to.
It's always location.
Trying to think of where we was at. The one we went to. I can't remember if it was in Schaumburg or if it was like Oak Park or something. Maybe along those lines. I can't remember. It was a nice town though, but I can't remember exactly where it was we went to.
So the next one I'm going to drink here for the competition, the Miller High Life. So this one goes like that. This is basically the first beer I ever drank ever, even though it was like sips as a kid from my grandparents as I played the delivery boy to them or whatever, the waiter, bringing them a beer, and I would take a sip and stuff out. So definitely has a nostalgia. A few years back, I actually got the big champagne bottle when they brought those out just because of the memories of it. So yeah, I'm going to crack this one open, 16-ounce tall boy here, and put my thoughts down on that sheet as well. And let me see here. Hash brown curtains. Oh, Todd disappeared. So they always tease Todd because Todd doesn't usually have curtains behind him, as you've probably seen before. So JV said Todd brings out the curtains for a guest.
I can still hear you. I was just getting in there.
Yeah. So JV's like, oh, now he has curtains because there's a guest on.
No, honestly, the reason why is like see the TV so I can watch some of the football game too while I'm on here.
Oh shit! Blake Hope is all is well indeed. Back at you, DD, much love. 7:54 tee off. That's time he tees off. 7:54. So he's always an early starter there. So let's go ahead and crack open the Miller High Life. Oh, that nice sound of happiness when you crack open a beer, right?
The one thing I noticed, like doing more of the old school macros, for appearance, they all are like a 9 or a 10 because they all look spot on. They're filtered, they're crisp, they're clear. They all look beautiful. And then it kind of goes down a little bit from there.
Yeah. I mean,
you take the first sip.
Depending on what the appearance is, like, it's almost though. I won't tell you my scores is because you'll have to wait to get also. Well, Dave, you can always see my scores, but I don't know if I should tell you or not. But I feel like you get something like this, you have to look on it. You're at least kind of at that 7 level, right? So anything above that, like anything that kind of screams out at you or so. But the head, you got the nice pour, you got the white head, that's pretty much spot on. I will say the Budweiser came out more headier than it did for the Miller on the pour that I actually did, but that's how you would pour where you want that 2 fingers. So I think appearance-wise, this is probably slightly better than the Budweiser. Because in the same type of pour, you kind of want to have that head there, not be as foamy. But yeah, you're right. The great carbonation, the straw yellow color, the nice bubbles rising to the top. When you're drinking a lager like this on a hot day, usually it's like that and everything, you want that refreshing thing. That's a nice appearance on it. And it doesn't punch you in the nose as much as the Budweiser coming off the aroma. You can still pick up some, but you have to sniff a little bit more on it. But you get that graininess. You get a little bit of that grassy type feel. It's just not in your face.
Yeah, you probably get more corn out of that than, well, Budweiser is rice, but yeah, you definitely.
Yeah, I mean rice.
You get the corn sweetness from the High Life.
I was gonna say, I feel like the differences in a lot of those is more the sweetness of them.
Yeah. But this one is more of a crisp backing than the Budweiser. Like that, the refreshing feel, but it's kind of like this one has a nice crisp play from the initial to the back end, where it's just not all just like kind of a splash through with the Budweiser. And I like it more in my palate than I do than with the Bud, but I've always preferred kind of Miller High Life to the Budweiser.
It'd be kind of cool to pour like 6 or 7 of them right in a row just to see how much color variation there is.
Yeah.
Because some's a little darker, some's a little lighter, but they're right there in the same ballpark. You know what I mean? Like, but then the other problem is, unless you just put them in the fridge right away, they're gonna get hot. So you're gonna want to drink that last one right away.
Yeah.
No,
that's gonna need to be a multiple person show to have all those.
Did you say my grandfather drank that and white label whiskey, unfiltered Camel cigarettes? See the Miller, the filtered and the white label whiskey, and that was on a Monday. I gotta get to that Benny's too sometimes. I usually go to Elmwood Park. No problems there. Either. So that's the
Elmwood Park one's good. My mom lives pretty close to that Elmwood Park, so I hit that one when I go visit my mom.
Yeah, champagne and beer, son. Yeah, I missed the guy that used to do the Miller commercials. Miller
the
little black
driver guy.
Yeah, because he had died like some years back. But there was some funny commercials for a while when he was doing those. But yeah,
what are you drinking, Todd? Todd's going bougie on us. Todd's going fancy. What do you got?
I know. I feel bad now. Like I said.
Go throw in a white tank top wife beater. You'll be good.
Oh, there you go.
Another leftover. Well, actually, no. A friend of mine came over, watched that football game last Friday, and he left them behind. So
the brother-in-law now friends. People just leave beer at Todd's house.
They do. They come in like anytime we need a refrigerator filled. I'm like, yeah, come on over. Which actually, I'm glad he brought those because it's actually tonight's not, but last week was the first time I've had a Shaftley in a couple of years, probably. And that's usually my favorite
your first pumpkin beer of this season?
No, just the first time I've had the Shaftley in a while.
I haven't had a pumpkin beer yet this year, so I haven't cracked them. I'm just not there yet. I still had Oktoberfest beers I got to crack open. I haven't done yet. So
yeah. It took me a while. It's only been about a week or so since I've had started drinking them.
Yeah.
I don't go out usually and buy a bunch of them anyway because
the weather needs to get a little cooler before I could get into the pumpkins.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about
I've
that
had some
last year.
Oktoberfest. That's always a good beer, but yeah, it needs to get a little. I need to get out of shorts before I can start drinking pumpkin beer.
Right.
Yeah,
I
I feel like there's like a
feel
procession on things, you know. You just it's like when I go to the store and it's like they're doing Christmas stuff. I'm like, it's not even Halloween yet. Like, what are you guys doing here? Like,
But that's the problem with the pumpkin beers now. It's like by the time you go to actually want one because of the weather, it's like they're almost outdated. It's like, nope.
well, I think it's all the breweries trying to beat each other out. Like someone that said, "Oh, it's August pumpkin." I'm like, August? We get ours like in mid-July now, at least by then. So they're rolling out.
It's funny you say that though, but we probably will start seeing the Christmas beers next month.
I saw an ad for one, All About Beer magazine. That came, or no, it was Craft Beer and Brewing. That came like last week in the mail. So I opened it up, I'm going through it, and there's a big ad for a Christmas beer already. I'm like,
oh, geez.
It's like September 1st. Wait a bit.
Yeah.
Let me have some Thanksgiving turkey first.
No kidding.
Well, we got the Great Lakes Edmund Fitzgerald on the list.
Oh.
And Great Lakes Christmas Ale was one of the ones out there, too.
Yeah.
That's really a tasty one. Yeah, Edmund Fitzgerald is a wonderful beer. I'll say that. So my score would be pretty decent on that one.
Yeah. You could look at my score sheet, Rod. So
yeah.
You can see I rated that one pretty high already.
Yeah, I mean, that's just solid all the way around. So
yeah.
Great Lakes has so many different good things that I don't think I've ever really had anything. I think I had one time that was like one of their newer type beers where it's kind of like, not really into it. It's kind of one of their more fruity. It wasn't an IPA, but it was kind of like a pale ale type feel to it. But it was just like their classic stuff, the Elliott Ness, the Ed Fitzgerald. You get into the Lake Erie Monster and some of the Chill Wave. That's golden right there. That's good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that was like the hard part for me, like coming up with these, like for the awards. Like, I only did like one beer per brewery because I could have put, Burning River from Great Lakes, and I could have had 5 Great Lakes in there. But I'm like, it's kind of spread it out. So I'm like, in some cases, I just pick my favorite. All right, I'm gonna go with the Edmund Fitzgerald. But like, I love all the old school Great Lakes. I'm down with.
Yeah, well, even like Bell's the same way because we have 2 Hard on the list, and Bell's has so many fantastic beers they're actually doing right now too. So
they have to at least be 21 years old. Is that what it is?
Yeah, or they came out 21 years ago.
Right. Yeah.
I figured. Yeah, they're old enough to drink. I'll include them on the list.
Of course, I mean, I guess you think about it. That's still in the 2000s. Just the start of 2000s, but still.
Yeah.
When you put it in that perspective, you think like 21 years ago, when you think 2 Hard, like, is it that old? But I guess you think about it, it's probably older than that actually. But.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking earlier, I was telling Todd before you came on, the setup you did, and we had talked about a little bit between us on Twitter and that. It's great. I'm like, you could use that same setup to do like best beers of 2022 if you want to do like toward a Christmas type thing, or if you want to do like best new kids on the block type thing, something that might be breweries under 5. Like, you got the right setup for it. So definitely get a lot of fun and a lot of different things on it. So I'm definitely down to be involved there and go.
Yeah, I'll leave all the newer beers to the newer shows. I'll try to focus more on, the old school stuff. I know like a lot of people always put like, their best of the year, stuff like that. So yeah, I wanted to think something a little different.
Yeah.
I talk about more old school. Hell, I'm old, so let's just try to do this.
Yeah, Nosferatu, Reddit. I love that one. That is always solid. That's one of the ones that I'll pick up when they come out season one. Let's take a 4-pack of them. I haven't really looked for Great Lakes since being in Baltimore now, but Nosferatu, again, like I said, Chill Wave was one of my favorite double IPAs. It's just like, there's some beers like Dragon's Milk from New Holland. Like if I'm somewhere and it's just like a 4, I don't even think about it. It's like, oh, you're out? Okay, get in the cart. It's just like get in the cart right now.
Now, do you get a lot of New Holland up by you, Rod?
I got some. I had a couple Dragon's Milk so far, and then I'm thinking I haven't went beer shopping in a while because I'm trying to deplete what I actually have here now. But the new Dragon's Milk for this last part of the year should be out. The number 3 series for the variant. So I want to see if I can maybe pick that up this weekend.
What is that one going to be? Do you know?
I know somebody posted a picture. I think it's 12.3 ABV, and it's like a double barrel aged. Some type of, I know it's Madagascar. I want to say like Indian Madagascar or something. Vanilla extract. It's something only New Holland comes up with in their mind. With mad scientists they are, and it's just like, okay, I want that. But like, you know, and then now, like when Bell's does the double two hearted, it's like I grab that. It's just like there's certain beers that come out. It's like no question about it. You know, let me go ahead and check that out. You know, I used to be that way. Like Sierra Nevada used to have the. I don't see it as much now as when I was in Cincinnati. The wet hops IPA. I love when they do the wet hops, and it's just like, I would always grab that when it came out. So, but what about you? Any favorites?
Like Sierra Nevada, remember that Ruthless Rye? That was always a good one.
That was always a
come
good
back
one.
with that.
Mm-hmm. That was always a good one. And
what about you? What was that you cut out just for a second on my end?
It's the Ruthless Rye from Sierra Nevada. Yeah, that was a decent one. And speaking of Sierra Nevada, they actually, well, not Sierra Nevada, thinking of Stone. I was going to say Stone before, but we have Stone IP on there. But Stone is now part of Sapporo. Yeah. So what do you think? What do you think of that deal that took place?
Yeah, maybe they'll stop suing everybody.
Yeah, like who owns the rights to Stone now? Like, did Sapporo got to sue the person, or is it?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I heard that on your show the other day. Yeah. I don't know. Like the regular Stone IPA didn't do much for me, but like the Enjoy by series stuff, I like. So we'll see. We'll give them a chance. See what happens with it.
Yeah. Well, I've always said with Stone, I think they got to a point where they kind of rested on their laurels because they were like Stone, and we're Stone. Everybody knows who we are. We make this beer, and people will keep buying it. And I think people were like, no, there's other people out here now. We want to see what they're doing, and they just got caught behind the 8 ball and had to play catch up on a lot of their stuff.
Yeah, I mean that Enjoy by series is really good. Yeah, but I haven't had one of those in a while.
Well, the Bastard series they do is pretty good. All the different arrogant bastards and the double bastards and all of them are pretty good.
Yeah. I actually picked up one. It's been years ago that was Enjoy After.
Enjoy After? Really?
Don't drink it until after. Now, I don't know if that was the only time they made it, but I've never seen it since then, I don't think.
I've never seen that one.
When I bought it, it was like 6 months before the date was like drink after. Instead of drink by or whatever, enjoy by or whatever.
Yeah, the Bigfoot, that's another wonderful series from Sierra Nevada, and I think it was 3 or 4 months back I did a various Bigfoot beers they had from Sierra Nevada, but I'm not really disappointed for that. And that's probably one of the ones that got me more into the barley wine style. I think it's probably Sierra Nevada, some of the stuff they were doing with Bigfoot, and then I experimented out into, getting barley wines from other breweries that were out there. That kind of got me to the next thing. Like Smutty Nose had really good barley wines and stuff. So, but so many different wonderful beers. But now it's like you got Dovetail where you're at, and I'm like, every time I have something from them, whatever I do or something, it's like I feel like. We have another guy that's usually on the show, but he's on vacation right now. He's usually in the comments. JT, he's in Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
He loves Dovetail, so he's always talking about stuff. And it's just like, I got to get back and try some of these other ones that they actually have there.
Yeah, they just put out, I think it was yesterday or today on Twitter, that October is Rauch beer month. So they were making some new Rauch beers for October. But that's just a great spot. Like, you're not getting an IPA. You're not getting, anything trendy and fancy. It's just old school German beers. Everything they do is spectacular. I mean, it's a great location. You could just sit there and just, their Vienna lagers, killer. Everything they make is great.
Yeah, and that's something like me and you both got definitely an admiration for is that style with the rock beer that smoke. I'm always down for like some smoke in the beer. So it's just like it's like anytime some smokiness is there, I'm pretty much on board. And it was interesting. I got a review upcoming here that I'll put out in the next few weeks. But I actually had a black saison ale, which I had never had before. And that was kind of interesting because you're really just changing the malts, right? Because you're going from the dark to the light, but you're adding that coffee and that chocolate type feeling. But there was also kind of a little bit of I would say like an ash tobacco type feel, a little bit of a smoky roastiness that was brought into it. So it was kind of a little different. It was like I didn't know how to really fully take it. It was like I got part of the saison after a point, but it was really that overpowering of the chocolate and the coffee and that smokiness. So it was kind of interesting. So, but I'm like, that's the fun thing about craft beer. These people are just start trying new things. They're like a black saison. All right, let me find some more. I'm kind of interested to see where this style goes now. But speaking of style changes, what do you think about the whole cold IPA? Do you see it as its own style, or do you think, okay, we're just remarketing IPL basically and put a new name on it and going to try it again?
Well, they are a little bit different in like the yeast that they use,
right?
But
and the end effect though was like
it's like anything. Like you don't come up with a new name for a style. You just put IPA on it because people are going to buy it. You know,
right?
Is hazy IPA an IPA in the true sense? No, but people buy it, and it pays a lot of people's bills. A lot of breweries
it definitely does.
pay their rent with hazy IPAs. But is it an IPA? I don't know. But yeah, I mean, you just throw the name IPA on, anything just to get it out the door.
Boost sales.
Yeah. But I never had an issue with the IPA. I did enjoy the IPLs, so I never had an issue with that. And it was kind of like I was hoping more breweries would kind of go that way because we saw more lagers now being in the craft brew world. So then it's all of a sudden we're going cold IPA. But then you're kind of going through it and you're like, okay, so you're changing some of the fermentation and stuff, but the end result, it's kind of like an IPL.
Yeah, no one bought IPLs, but old IPA. Sign me up.
I'll
take $15 for a 4-pack. Yeah.
That one letter was throwing us off. We had to make a switch.
IPL, no, I'll pass.
Was that like that Drake meme? It's like IPL and then IPA, he'd be like cold IPA. He'd be like,
I mean, you look at, remember, was it 7-8 years ago? Like black IPAs were a thing, and I actually thought that would have done better.
IPAs,
I love them, but really, it's just a hoppy porter when you get down to it.
Yeah,
but I'm surprised that style never took off because that was something I loved.
Well, one of the ones I actually liked from Stone that they discontinued, and I think it was because it was hard for, I don't want to say like the average consumer, but it was kind of like a hard appreciation for some people to maybe get into, was the Mocha IPA. Because that was that was kind of like bringing a stout and IPA together. And so you had like that feel of a stout, but you also had to feel the IPA underneath of it. And I thought it was wonderful, but some people, I guess, I don't think it got overly enough out of the beer market to keep putting money into it. And so you discontinued it. But that's one I wish they would bring back or do like especially batches every few years or something.
Yeah.
I think that's what Three Floyds did with the Black is Beautiful beer of their version. I think it was a black IPA.
They just they mailed theirs in. That was
it's like what's the name on it at the time?
I don't know if you had that version of Black is Beautiful, Dave, because Three Floyds there to Mustard, Indiana, so you get Three Floyds up there.
Yeah,
but they had theirs, and I think on the can it still said say stout.
Yeah.
We both had it. It's like this is like a black IPA. This is not even like a stout. It was like you could just tell, and it's just like I think they just melded in and say, hey, we were part of it too.
Yeah,
I gave it to Ryan. I was like, I'm not going to tell you what this is, but I just want to see what your opinion is of this when you drink it, because it's not what it claims to be. In my opinion, it wasn't what it claimed to be at all.
Yeah, on its own, it was a good beer.
Yeah, it was fine. Yeah. It's like you just said black IPA because some of the breweries that were doing Black is Beautiful were doing that. It was like, ours is an oatmeal stout, ours is this type of beer, or this is this type. So you could do whatever. You were just basically showing support. And that would have been fine. I don't know why they didn't do it that way, but
it's almost like you bought a cat, but they were telling you it was a dog.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
I think I should do like the video. The it's too late now. The Mr. George. Have you seen those Mr. George videos? They're all over Instagram. Like when people do a bad job on something, and it's like this Latino. He's calling. He's like, Mr. George, how much you pay for this guy? Yeah. $20, too much. Like when everybody's screwing up something, I'm like, you could have done that with that beer. Like, got Trez in. Go ahead.
Hey, what's up, Trez?
Trez in the house, back. Busy 2 weeks. What up, Rod? Oh, Shannon not here now, but we will definitely drink for you. What were you gonna say?
Now, before we move on, I was talking about that Stone, so I looked it up. It was Stone and Joy after. It was 07, 04, 16, so it's been a while.
Yeah.
But it was a Brett IPA is what it was.
Oh, okay.
Makes sense. So you'd want it to kind of,
mature a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing to notice with the appearance of the Miller High Life that I didn't have on the Budweiser is you get the nice lacing left behind too.
Yeah.
That's also as part of like the appearance type thing.
I was gonna say the funny thing was you was looking at that beer, is like you could see your face through the glass.
Yeah.
It's like it wasn't nothing in front of you.
Sapporo owns Unibrew, but still in a Unibrew, completely different breweries. Yeah, and the whole thing with the owning thing, from my perspective, Sapporo did it as kind of an asset play. I don't think they're going to really mess with Stone and let them do what they're doing, and just it makes them stronger as a company having them under it, I believe, because their goal, and Dave, you're on the podcast, they're trying to double for both of the locations. So they want to double the output, double production and stuff. So they want to increase the stuff for Stone. So, hopefully they let them do what they're going to do, I guess. But Stone, here in the States, there's people that just don't feel like Stone's as good as it used to be. So they got to kind of overcome that too.
And they kind of took a big hit with the pandemic and everything. Then they closed like their Berlin location, things like that. So you'll have to see how it shakes out. But their place in San Diego, that's still one of the best breweries I've ever been to as far as like location and feel. I mean, it was outstanding.
Mm-hmm. Well, we all know craft beer can be a little fickle at times.
You're right. I also just feel like it's probably, there's so many out there now and they're so big. It's like, are they really trying to keep up with the trends of the day? What the day is.
Yeah, traditional German beer. I mean, all the German beer I've had has been imported because I haven't been to Germany. Now, Didi, he actually has been over to Germany on stuff, but I mean, I will say it's all been imported because when I was in Cincinnati, we had the biggest Oktoberfest behind Munich. So they have like the 500-something thousand people that come into those days or whatever. And we would get German breweries over here. So they did actually come over with beer from their breweries. And it's like I didn't even go to any American breweries when you go that. You go right to the German breweries and just drink all what you can get from them because you don't even want to mess around and miss them when they actually leave. So German beer, I mean, it's right there. It's like from the source, right? So Gilbert's had a black saison as well. It's something that we'll start seeing popping up more. I mean, again, mad scientists in craft beer. I've had a rice IPA. No, it's a Cascade and the rice beer. I've had the rice IPA. I want to say it was from Anderson Valley, who I've had the rice IPA from, which was pretty interesting. Cold IPA is just goofy marketing. It could be. Take that IPL off of that. We're going to call it a cold IPA. Lagunitas 12th of Never, great beer. Yeah, Lagunitas 12th of Never. And then where Dave, you Big Daddy, both in Chicago, had a blast out there at Lagunitas at the brewery out there. And have you been out there,
They
Dave?
still haven't opened yet since the pandemic.
They've been closing out there since the pandemic. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a production place, but the actual like restaurant tap room, it's still closed.
Oh, I didn't know that. Is that something from like the mayor ordinance or something where they have some?
No, it's like I think just a personal thing because everything else is open.
Huh? Have you had a chance to go there when they were open before, or?
Yeah, that was really nice. Yeah,
it's nice. We had one of our other friends that we sent out there, Eric, one time. So he went out there. He thought he was in a strip club at first because you get in there, it's like the dark and the light, the sequins and all that. So he's like, I thought I was at a brewery, but I think it's a strip club.
Yeah. He's like, what are you guys trying to send me to?
Yeah.
But that's actually a pretty good thing. Hopefully they reopen that back up. And did you get a chance to meet some of the do an interview or anything out there, or meet any people or anything? Or
no, I mean I did the tour a couple times, but I started doing the podcast right at the beginning of the pandemic, so never got a chance to head over there and talk to them at all.
Well, if they reopen and you want to do something, let me know because I actually have connects there that I can get you in front of. Mal's in the house. Cheers, Mal. Mal and Chew, although Chew is always behind the camera. Cheers, everyone. And if you don't know what Perfectly Neat Crafts, she got a great channel, her and Chew, her husband. They just did like how many was that? 300-something mile tour or whatever they went around.
It was a bunch. Yeah, I don't have.
Yeah, but they came down. They saw Todd and Shannon when they were down in Indiana, and they went to just a vacation, going to different breweries. They did a circuit. And they mapped it all out and went through. But you guys had a blast getting together and getting a chance to meet and everything.
Oh yeah, it was good. Yeah, we had a good time. It was fun to actually get to meet them in person.
That's the fun of YouTube and beer, bringing people together. So.
Oh well, I think they were gone for like 3.5 weeks or something, just doing brewery tours.
Yeah, I think she's still doing edits on stuff. So for all the stuff they went to and all the places they visit. Yeah, but they went down and they saw I don't think it was not on this one, but on one previous, they went down and saw Blue down in Georgia and Brian the Beer Snob. So they got a chance to meet down there before. Yeah. So they're doing it. They're getting out there and having fun. And why not do it? Do it when you can, especially for them. Do it when you're young. Have a blast out there.
Hell, coming down here might have been about as far south as they went, actually.
No, when they went to Georgia.
Well, no.
On that trip, on your trip, yeah, they might. What do you know? They came down. I don't know if they got you on the swing back up or coming down and around, but yeah, it would have been close.
Well, because when they left here, I think they posted something. They were up towards Indianapolis, and I was thinking, damn, I thought they were going to Ohio from here, so I was like. Wish I'd have known that because I would have gave them some ideas to go, when they went up that way.
Oh, yeah. It was so much fun and really like to travel. Yeah, Kentucky was the most south. So,
okay.
Yeah.
I was saying just following their videos and stuff. It seemed like that would have been the most south they went.
Yeah. I wonder how much beer did you guys put in the car when you brought it back is my question. Because all the different spots, you had to be taking stuff back on the road trip, right?
It's all way down in the back, yeah.
Yeah. It's like just riding real low.
Yeah. You're riding the wheelie all the way home.
Like Goodfellas. You got a body in there? What's going on?
You gotta pull over at the weigh stations, just check in.
Yeah, so what else we got here? So I'm going to do probably one more beer. This is a 1023, so I'm going to crack open another one for the thing. I got to finish my score on this one here. Are you drinking anything else, Dave, right now? You got anything else in your hand?
If you're going to crack one, I will.
I'm going to crack one. I'm going to crack another one from the sheet because I picked it up, so I might as well drink it. And then,
right, well, I'll be back in 2 seconds. Then I'm going to go to my fridge and grab one.
Okay.
I'm almost done with this one, so I might as well too if you guys are.
Let's toss one back Thursday, people. That's what we do. Toss one back. She said way too much beer, so they brought some stuff back. Nice. Plus, I had to grab stuff for the giveaway. Nice. Very nice. Oh, yeah.
That would be a blast of a trip. Just to be able to take 3 weeks or however long. I think it's at least 3 weeks. I don't know how long they were out, but
yeah,
and just travel across the country like that and go to different breweries. That'd be awesome. And see the countryside, why not?
Yeah.
And Mallory's on. If you're still on there, we still play that game. Kings in the Corner or whatever the hell the game that card game that they taught us when they were here.
What game was that?
Stan and I still play it. It's kind of like dang, trying to they're blank. Not rummy, but what's the game you play by yourself? Solitaire. It's kind of like solitaire in a sort, but you can play it with multiple people. So you deal out like a plus sign, and you put kings in the. If you deal a king, get a king, put it in the corner or whatever. So I think it's called Kings in the Corner or something like that. And it was fun. It was a good game. It was really where you could just talk and drink and shit. You had to pay a whole lot of attention to what you're doing.
The drinking games are always fun.
But Stan and I play that all the time still. We'll sit up, just drink some beer and just shoot the shit and listen to music and play a game.
Yeah.
She said, highly recommend. I think that's the traveling and going to different things. Yeah, that's a good
Oh
time.
yeah.
So you guys figured out really fast, even as far in the bag as we were. So you guys were pretty hammered. Yeah, Kings in the corner. Yeah. Back in my day when I was young, we used to play Thumper. That was always a fun game.
All right, let's put it this way. I got up to go to the bathroom. I had one card. I come back and I had a handful of cards, and I never even realized I only had one card when I got up. I kind of sat back down and I started laughing. I didn't even know what they were laughing at. And then I was starting to play, and they're like, no, we put cards in your hand just to see if you catch on. It's like, I would have never even known.
Let's see if he figures it out. Oh, so let me grab another. What beer did you grab, Dave? While I grab another one here?
I grab one that I'll score here. Grab the old school Allagash White.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever had that one, to be honest.
I've had that one. It's pretty decent. It's funny because a few months ago, people were like all bashing Allagash White for whatever reason. It's like, it's a decent beer.
Yeah, I mean, it's won a ton of medals. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a great place to go to if you're ever in Portland, Maine. I mean, it's just a great, white beer. If people, like Blue Moon, they should love this one. This is normally outstanding. Yeah.
It's funny you said that because the beer I'm going to crack open.
Oh, there you go.
Shannon's on a Blue Moon kick now. I have to buy those for her at the store all the time.
It's on the list, so I got to knock it out.
Yeah. Oh God, that's really good.
No fruit.
I've never seen this. They have this now in the stovepipe, the 19.2 ounce can of it.
Yeah, I've seen those too.
Wow.
Yeah.
God, it's just really good.
I don't think I've ever seen that one around here, to be honest.
Yeah, I think a couple of our stores here when I have a 19.2 as well. And the Sierra Nevada Pale Ale like 19.2 in that one, and the Lagunitas IPA is another one that's like 19. So I'll probably grab those sizes when I actually do them.
I'll have to look for it next time I'm out. I'm almost 99% sure I've never seen it in Indiana, which doesn't surprise me none because you can't get anything in Indiana. So
yeah, it's been a while since I've been, because I have relatives in Evansville. But yeah, it's been a while since I've been there to pick anything up.
Having Revian, Brickwood Co. Course Correction, and Coffee Belgium. Very nice. Yeah, Mal's another one I might be interested in doing the judging thing too. If you're still looking for people.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I put the website out just because I wanted to get it out. And, I could always just add people to it and add them to the Google Docs. But I just figured if everybody gets, as many as they possibly can in by December 1st, and that'll give me time to tally everything up. And, I'm sure I'm going to have to talk to you, Rod, about this StreamYard thing, because I want to do something live that day, and we'll go from there. But yeah, if anyone's, interested, you can follow me on Twitter, at beerinfront.com, or, email me, or, get a hold of Rod. Rod knows how to get a hold of me. By all means, the more the merrier.
Yeah, definitely.
And I know everyone can't get to every beer listed because it's just impossible. But, I figure if everybody could get a good portion of the list and there's enough people throughout the country, everything should be well represented.
Yeah, I believe that's true. So you guys are drinking, so let me pour my beer here.
Yeah.
I need to grab one.
I love that peer pressure it kicks in. I guess I'm going to grab one.
Just a bad influence. Yeah.
If you're free, you want to come up, let me know, and I can shoot you a thing as well. But Dave, Beer in Front, actually you're looking at old school beer, so we're doing judging on old school beers. And if you want to be a part of that, love to have you there as well, because I think you'd be pretty fun too. And I put the link up earlier here on the site, but you know what? Let me grab it again. And I just put the link in the comment, and that's the beer judging page that we'll be doing for Beer in Front here Blue Moon on tap also. Crazy different. Well, yeah, on tap it's different, I'm sure. But yeah, peer pressure, right? That's what we do, Tress. Peer pressure. It's like Will Ferrell in the old school. I'll do one.
Peer pressure from hundreds of miles away.
Gilbert had the Cigar City White.
Just had to look off. I'm like, just had to look at the score for a second. Bills are killing it right now.
Yeah, they just scored again.
Yeah, I asked Tyler earlier. They're like the favorite. They were favored coming in over the Super Bowl champs.
Oh, the Chicago Sky lost tonight. They were up in the
now.
court. Ooh, Chicago Sky. This is the last game of the series. They got outscored 24-5 in the fourth and lost. Wow.
Oh wow. There's a Blue Moon. And that actually should have been a decent pour on it. Yeah, I got the head on there, which was a decent. I mean, it was a good speed of the pour, so which I don't mind. With the extra head is always good for bringing out the notes and aroma and stuff, so it'll settle. But as far as like that nose for like a Belgian wit type feel, it's on point. I mean, I don't even know why you need to put the orange on a Blue Moon because you got enough in the aroma. You don't need that.
Yeah.
I never understood that either.
But yeah, very nice there. Get a little bit of that spice, coriander type feel.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, it's, you know, people will knock it because it's a Miller product or whatever, and it was kind of thrown out there, but I feel like for most people, if you put it next to a Hoegaarden, they'd have trouble separating the two from on the taste. I mean, it's a decent put together beer. Granted, I don't drink Blue Moon a lot. I don't drink a lot of wheat beers as much because that's not that style I'm usually into. But giving them credit where credit's due, it's not a bad beer. And actually, Blue Moon is one of the places I would like to see if I'm ever out that way because I always heard it's like such a cool brewery to check out.
Yeah, like and they used to put out, like I think that was the first pumpkin beer I ever had was from them when they were putting that out 20 some years ago. And I don't know if they do anymore, but I remember like that, I think was the first pumpkin beer. I'm like, wow, that's actually pretty decent. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, your palates change and evolve, and then you get into, you know, some of the other ones. But I believe Blue Moons was the first one I had.
Oh, wow.
Didn't they used to have like a mixed pack you could pick up or something at one point?
I think so, like at a Costco type of place.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
Sam's Club, a variety things, yeah.
Well, even Kroger used to have mixed 12 packs from Blue Moon. Now you would have like 3 of each one or whatever, and there would be different flavors of Blue Moon they would do. Well, I don't know. I don't know if they discontinued those or what, but
it's been a long time. That you talking about the pumpkin ones wouldn't even think of that because I was thinking.
Yeah, this pumpkin would be one there.
Variety pack or something of one. I don't know if I was just thinking that, you know, outside the box, you know, it was something I made up, or if they actually did. I remembered it right.
I remember they used to put out a spring ale that had like some lime in it, and that was always really good.
Huh.
I don't remember that one.
I don't either. Yeah.
Yeah, that was about maybe 10, 12 years ago. And I think it was only out for a couple years, but I'm like, oh, this was really good. Cause, you know, I was into craft beer then, but sometimes you want to save a couple bucks. So, all right, I'll grab a Blue Moon. It's cheaper and it was a decent beer.
I mean, I used to pick up those
Rod's busy scoring. Rod's typing away, scoring this beer right now. I can tell.
Well, I've got the computer here, and I got a computer here as well. So I'm trying to look to see if they had the mix pack on here to see what they have.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm going to make a Costco run tomorrow. I'll see if they have it there.
But yeah, but the Blue Moon, these are like a first peach ale, and the gingerbread spice ale. But they got, you don't see the flavors as much for different stuff there. I don't know if they scaled it down.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
But, didn't Guinness out by you, Rod? Didn't they have a gingerbread last year?
They may have.
Guinness that had one?
They have different things that are there at the brewery, so I haven't been out. I still got to get out there.
No, they did. They had it in distro because I was able to get it here.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
It was the gingerbread, and it was what was the other one that they had at the same time? It was like 2 different ones.
Okay.
Might actually still have one downstairs on accident. Back in the back, in the fridge. It's gonna get shoved behind.
When his beer is like Bob Ross, there are no accidents.
True, I guess that's true.
It's like you open up a fridge, you got an old beer you forgot you had there. It's like a classic. You're like, oh, winning.
Yeah.
And Dave, was your all's Costco there? Does it carry like their own brand of beer?
Yeah. I never picked it up, but
they all do
like
Kirkland, right? Like,
yeah,
well,
it was like
never,
a Kirkland.
The Kirkland in Louisville, I can never pick one up. I don't go there that often, but when I've gone in there, I've looked for them, and I've never been able to see them. I've never seen like a Kirkland brand IPA or whatever, but I've heard they're pretty good though.
Yeah, I've never picked them up, but like the Kirkland vodka is outstanding.
That's
like
I've heard
that's really good. Their bourbon I wasn't a fan of, but like they're like French vodka. They have like an American and a French. Like the French, it's like less than half the price of what you pay for a Grey Goose, and it's a great vodka.
Well, I've also seen where like Grey Goose actually makes that vodka, but I'm not sure.
Oh,
if that's
really?
true.
Okay.
I don't know if that's true, but that would make sense if it's like half the price. But everybody I've heard said the same thing. Like the vodka is really good.
Yeah.
I'm wondering the fine print if it shows who's actually making. I wonder if they're like Trader Joe's. Like in Trader Joe's, they have Trader Joe's on labels, but you look at it, it'll be like Unibrew.
Yeah.
Is making something, or which I found out a few months ago. That's not how you pronounce Unibrew. Like, oh, you have to know it's Unibrew, and it's actually not. But I can't think of it right now. I think it's Unibrow or some different way. Like I had to put a thing in the computer, and it's pronounced this way. Like, oh shit, I've been saying it wrong for all this time.
Yeah, it's like
I always pronounce it like Unibrow, but I don't know Unibrow sounds like like a
Like, what's that one? Umagang. I'm sure I've screwed that up every time I talk about Umagang out in Cooperstown. I butchered that every time I talk about
it.
I
took French when I was younger, and I'm still fucking this up, but I should not be doing that. But you would look on their label, and you would see like who was producing what and everything like that. So I wonder with Kirkland, who might be doing some of the underlying stuff, distilleries and stuff like that and everything.
I would think they would have to post that on there for somebody else.
I'm sure it's on the label somewhere.
Yeah,
so it's like you'll look at it, it'll be like, oh well. Like Dave said, like half the price of Grey Goose, but you'll find out there might be a distillery working with them, but they just put a label on for the house brand or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't know if like the company would want that because, like, if you were say Jim Beam or Maker's Mark or whatever,
that's a good.
Why
point.
would you want to have on
point.
this that this is who makes it? Because then you would never buy their product. You would just buy the Kirkland.
I mean, I don't know, but it's like when Trader Joe's did, like you look at Trader Joe's and like their anniversary type ales.
Yeah, that's always a great beer too.
You're getting beer from like Unibrew that will usually be a lot more if you got it from them directly, but they got their name slapped on it. They're brewed by so and so. So it's interesting. But I've never gotten a Kirkland thing, but I have friends that will get the Kirkland beer and stuff. I don't have a Costco membership, never went in, although in Kentucky, I found out when it was alcohol, and I don't know if it's the same thing here in Maryland or where you're at, Illinois or Indiana. Liquor, you don't need a Costco membership. It's separate. You can just walk in without a membership and buy liquor there.
That makes sense because when I go to the one in Louisville, it is that way, like on the outside. Well, where you was at.
Yeah, in Kentucky, you just walk in and you don't have to have a membership.
It's separate, so that would make sense if you could do that.
But that might be just the states that do them differently.
Yeah, I think it goes state by state because here, like in Chicago, you have to be a member unless like you were going to get like a like their pharmacy or like optical. Like if you went in for a pair of glasses or contact lenses, you could go to the optical center there and not have to be a member. But everything else, you got to have the membership card for it.
Yeah, I remember the Blue Moon horchata. I actually did like that one when I was in the pack as well. EB in the house. Cheers, homie. EB. And America is always messing. Yeah, I mean, if there's one country that butchers languages, that'd be us.
It's us.
I mean, the main language is English, and we still screw that up. Like
you said,
the people from England are like, "What are you saying? I don't understand." It's like we're saying the same word, but it sounds so different from us than how they say it over there. So,
so true.
Kirkland tequila is great, Big Daddy said. We know how to drink it, right?
That's right. That's right.
After enough beers, we can't say Bud Light either. I've seen people struggle with Bud Light when they've been too inebriated, so that can happen. But you know, the Blue Moon, it is what it is. I've had these numerous times in the past, and not too much of a change. Like I said, I feel like you get enough out of it that I don't know who came up with the thing to put the orange peel on the glass. If that was maybe Blue Moon, because I think on Blue Moon stuff they'll put it on there about adding the orange, but I don't feel like you need it on here, just like you would in any other wit beer that'll just have the flavors built in. So it might be more for the look of it and everything. But it's got a little bit of weight to it to be like a little Belgian wit beer too. So it's not like too thin. It's not too light. That, you know, it's decent enough. It is what it is. You take beer at what it is for different things. You know, don't overestimate it. You're not going to sit there and compare a Colt 45 to a Pliny, right? They're different. They're different ballparks. It's just not the same thing, right?
They have their place.
Damn, I didn't include Colt 45 on my list.
There you go.
You try to start fights? Well, it's funny you did that. I was thinking like, oh, it would have been cool like if you did like Mickey's or something like that, like something from the malt liquor crowd. We did that in there, but
you know, I had a Mickey's a couple months ago on the show, and that was not good. I mean, if you drink it, hey, God bless you. I'm not downing you if you drink it, but that wasn't for me.
We did a malt liquor broadcast last year, and we tricked Todd's wife, and actually, I didn't say we tricked her. We just kind of told her because she said she would do it and drink a Mad Dog, and just remember because she's like, "Oh, I used to love Mad Dog," blah blah. Well, she's found out now she does not love it anymore. So.
Yeah. I still got 2 drinks and drained poured the rest of it. She's like, "Nope, I'm not. Can't believe I ever drank any of this. What is going on?"
Well, I have a Brewer shirt that I want to put some patches on. I don't know if you could see it, but I have my Billy D. Williams approved patch. Colt 45.
Oh, there you go.
Yes. Nice. So I went on eBay and found an old patch that I'm going to have
awesome.
sew on a sleeve.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
You know, I got like I got a jean jacket that has different beer brewery buttons and stuff that I get from different stuff over the years. That would be cool to be something on there. Just to put that on there. Yeah. Eric, the only problem with Unibrew is that snobs seem to avoid it. Well, it's like, because you know what? Cause all the masses know about it now. So they're like, oh, that's for them. I'm not going to drink that. Probably the same beer snobs that complain about Goose Island but line up with Bourbon County Stout at the same time.
Pick the word right out of my mouth. I was thinking the same thing.
I won't drink any 312, but you know what? I'll get that Bourbon County Stout when it comes out Black Friday.
I remember the first time I had the La Fin de Mon or whatever it's called, however you say the name of that beer. I was like, that thing is great. Of course, that was a long time ago. I hadn't had it for a while, but
yeah.
I was like, man, that thing was good.
Yeah, La Fin de Mon's pretty good.
Yeah.
And what's your take on Goose Island up there? Since you're in Chicago, like you get like it gets crazy with the Bourbon County type stuff, I'm sure, and everything like that. But the other stuff, do you have like those kind of things that still kind of happen up there? Like you have some like the craft beer scene that really don't get as much into Goose Island until that day happens when Bourbon County comes out.
Yeah, like people will never drink a Goose Island until, the day after Thanksgiving. I mean, it's, since they've been bought out, it's like the regular IPA is not the same as it was back when they came out. They don't make any of the honkers or the summertime. Like the original brew pub still does, and you could get a crowler of it or you could get it on draft there. But as far as what you could pick up, everything that you could pick up is just a watered down version of what used to be out there. So they have one now that they've been pushing all year, like neon something. It's got like a cute little bear on the label. It's like a hazy and imperial one. It's okay, but it's got that like real boozy after kick to it that I'm not a big fan of. And even the Bourbon County Stout, it's a solid beer, but I think there's others that in the last like few years, like Goose has been here, but others have kind of like raised.
They froze.
No, I don't know if that was just me or.
Program.
There you go. Now you're back.
Revolutions is killer.
Yeah. You froze a little bit there when you had like.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
No, it's just technology, you know.
Yeah, but you know, like Revolution and some others, like
Revolution,
you know, they've raised the game up.
Well, you know, a point I brought up, like me and Todd talking before, it's kind of like, you know, I'll get some of this stuff. I don't have to hunt down to Bourbon County. If I come across it, I'll pick it up. But I'm like, you look at the price point type stuff, and where everybody is now, and how they're creating these beers. You know, you get this Bourbon County, and it's like, if you get the base version, it's like anywhere from $9.99 to $13.99 a bottle, depending where you're at. And if you get any of the variants, you're usually pushing $16 to up to $20-something. You can go out and get like an Epic Brewing, Big Baptist, 22-ounce bottles, solid variants that they're doing on their stouts, and you're paying anywhere from maybe 15 to 20, but it's like a 22-ounce bottle you're also getting out of it too. So it's kind of like that brewery I use as an example, but there's other ones that are kind of like that and are putting out decent quality stuff, but they're not trying to kill you at the register either. So I think I feel like Bourbon County is able to still go off the name and the lure of it being Bourbon County that people were into, but those that are more into craft beer are kind of like, yeah, if I see it, I get it. If I don't, I'm not upset about it because I have other opportunities to get other stuff too to try. Yeah.
Well, like you were saying earlier, it'd be the same ones I was drinking the 312 or whatever. So I'd be looking at like, oh, you're drinking Miller Coors or whatever, Budweiser, whoever it is that owns them. But the same people are standing in line on buying the Bourbon County the day after Thanksgiving. It's like, well,
yeah, I don't wait in line for anything. You know, if it comes my way, it comes my way. But the bad thing, like, I don't know if it's like out by you guys, but like here, all the breweries put out their barrel aged stuff at the same time. And it's like right after Thanksgiving, like the first week of December, I'm like, you people know we got to buy Christmas gifts for others. And we can't I can't give my wife a bottle of Bourbon County stuff. Merry Christmas, baby, because that's not going to play. So I can't be dropping all this money on barrel-aged beers that time of year. I kind of wish they would spread it out a little bit better.
I think that's kind of the climate. And for me, maybe because just more involved with the beer thing, just like you are, and Todd, who drinks a lot of beers too, it's like we'll drink stouts all year round. Yeah, I think what a lot of consumers are like, well, they just want to get it when it's winter, when it's a cold month, to have it to warm them up. And I don't know if that's because it's kind of pushed out on them that way, or if it's just because they feel it's supposed to be that way. Yeah. It's kind of like if breweries were opening up stuff more during the course of the year, and a lot of them do open up Bourbon County stuff or bourbon barrel stuff during the course of the year, that do fine doing it. But I think in the mind of some of the consumers, they think they have to wait till the winter to drink some of these big stouts. And you don't, I'm not saying go out on a 95-degree day and drink one because you'll probably not be happy about it. But there's times during the course of the year you can still drink them and not have to wait until the winter to do so.
Mm-hmm. But at the same time, they bring those beers out all year long, though. Like in the summertime, like you get all these stouts in the summertime too.
Yeah. But it's funny because like my mom, where she's in New Jersey, there's a place by her and I'll walk in there and just about every time I'm up there, no matter what, I'll find Bourbon County Stout on the shelf somewhere. Yeah. Just like it's just out there. There's just so many other things. I think consumers are just looking at other things now, and it's just like you're not as big as what you thought you once were, So it's kind of interesting. I haven't seen
it so much this year. Maybe it'll start coming around, but our chain grocery store, right around this time, they marked down last year's Bourbon County Stout to get ready for the stuff in November. So there was one that my friend bought cases of it. It was like a coffee one a few years ago, and it was great, but like no one bought it. He bought it for $5 a bottle. So my buddies and I were like, just buy it. We'll Venmo you. We'll do whatever. And so we kind of divvied it up when he brought it back home. But so maybe I'll get lucky this year and find some of the variants at a discounted price.
That in itself, $5 a bottle. That would be a Rod J deal for sure. Yeah.
Now, what was the stout you gave us that was from overseas that you got for like or whatever it was?
One of the places that Todd mentioned earlier, we were talking about Benny's, the Party Source. So I went in there one time, and this was like November, December, whatever, and they were basically doing a lot of moving of beers and stuff to get new supplies, new stocks in. So I come to this cart and it had like these beers here, and it was Valamita, and they were basically out of, I believe, Spain, and it was a bourbon barrel aged beer, 11.5% ABV. And they had a rum barrel, they had a base barrel, and then they had another barrel variant. $1.99 a bottle. I'm like, is this a mistake? Like, and I even asked one of the guys, he's like, no, that's what we're moving stuff out, so that's what they all
looking
are.
for a hidden camera to make sure.
So,
Right,
yeah. So I'm like, I didn't have a cart with me because I was just going to just see what they had in there. Went back to the front, got a cart. I just took them all. Like, just started cleaning them out, and it was just like, are you kidding? Like, common people that maybe not be as much into beer, they walk by and just see, they don't realize what it is. Like, these beers, you can sell them for years and you're still in good shape. And I'm just like racked them out. So I sent out some to Todd, and then our friend Eric and our friend Joe, the Beer Patrol, and they were tasty as shit. And the rum barrel one was probably my favorite. That got me hooked in looking for rum barrel type beers. I've had rum barrel beers, I've had tequila barrel, and I've had gin barrel. And gin is another nice one that I had from one of the breweries in Texas that Edelburst had set up to me. And I was like, I had never had anybody experience like the gin barrel type thing. And I'm like, I would love to see more breweries doing that kind of stuff. So again, it's that whole mad scientist thing that happens in craft beer, which is awesome to be a part of. But yeah, that was $1.99 a 12-ounce bottle, and it was just like, rack them. I had one guy one time at Jungle Gym, so we Brian Beer, and he was a younger kid. He's like probably 20, 21. He's like, oh man, you got like a lot of beer. How you gonna drink all these beer? I was like, this is what I do. Don't worry, it's a tax write-off. Bag them. Yeah. He's like, you can write these off. I was like, it's all part of the business, son. Oh, let me see here. Mal said she just emailed you about the judging thing. It looks really fun. So that's
okay, cool.
Your email there was awesome. So I love that Mal's a part of that. I'm not so much for Goose Island, she says. And Neon Bear Hug. Yeah. Because Mal's up there too with you. So that's where she's actually located. It's survivable. And we always order Blue Moon, no orange. Right. You don't need the orange for Blue Moon. You don't need it.
Never understood that.
Trio Pistolas is easily my favorite double. I have not tried it, but I've heard of that one. I need to try that one too. And that's from a unit brew as well. I'm just going with the American version because I can't remember what the actual version is now. But yeah, so yeah, Mal gets on there. That'd be awesome too. She's got I just
glanced at the email real quick, so I'll be replying probably tomorrow morning. And I'll add you to the list. So, and I'll send out all the stuff for you. So thanks for jumping on. Appreciate it.
Excellent.
And Todd, you're next. Todd, you're next, brother.
All right, well, I'll get with. If nothing else, I'll get with Rod, get an email, and I can send it to you.
All right, gotcha.
Yeah. so you have to put it down. Whatever.
I've been trying to move Todd to doing a YouTube channel for a couple of years now. So he does a lot of grilling and stuff. Like people love to watch grilling and stuff. I mean, you can just set up and grill, and people check out your channel. He's got recipes and everything. So
too lazy.
And even his wife is like, Shannon's like, yeah, you need to go in and do that. She tries to push him toward it. So.
Yeah. I thought about it.
I feel like I wish YouTube would have came out when I was younger, because I would have been all over it. Like it would have came out like back in the 90s when I left college and stuff like that and everything. I feel like this is the media that when I was in school getting like a journalism and degree and kind of doing stuff, that I would have loved to have been more of a part of something like this. But I'm glad I can experience it now. Even being older, you can still do it. But it's just like an awesome thing. And I'm like, if you ever want to do out there, you want to share information, tell a story, whatever, like you have the tool to do so. Just go out there and have fun to do it. And great relationships from it. I met Todd through YouTube. I met you through YouTube. Oh, yeah. And then you get to meet people. When you start to meet the people, it's like you meet people and you felt like you've known them for all this time.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's just different. Much more different than the AOL chat rooms back in the 90s.
Yeah, that is the cool part of it for sure.
Those things will get you on Dateline.
Chris Hansen special.
Be watching that Mante Te'o stuff, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you watched that?
No, I can't watch that.
I haven't watched it either yet, but one of our friends, John Pierre, said he watched it. It was really interesting. He thought he really liked it.
It's very interesting. We actually watched it. Right when it came out, I was like, wow. It's crazy to think about how that actually would have happened.
Somebody go get their dog. I hear their dog in the background. Somebody get their dog from out back.
I don't even know that you guys it's picking it up. But if you have like 2 hours, check it out. Okay. Definitely, you'd be like, oh shit. I can't believe that actually happened to somebody.
I feel like that's like, I don't know, it's like getting like an ID channel type thing or something. Like I feel like you're getting sucked into something there. Like I don't know.
I would have definitely sucked you in. And the bad thing is, I think that whole ordeal probably train wrecked his whole career.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
And yeah, and the NFL for sure, because he did slide like draft pick wise. And then I don't know if he just wasn't good enough. I'm not sure about that, but
yeah. Well, Mal said thanks. That's great. So yeah, so she's definitely on board. UE Brow is how Gilbert, because Gilbert's in Canada, so he's saying UE Brow is how you
UE Brow.
Yeah. Drinking a Polliner pills, yes, nice one. Yeah, Polliner, they were one of the ones that would come over when we did Oktoberfest in Cincinnati. So for me, all folks on YouTube, great community. Yeah, it definitely is. It's been a great welcoming community over. I mean, from YouTube, and doing the beer stuff has been awesome. Not just here, but then when I go to the different events and I meet the different breweries, and I've pretty much got warm reception from everywhere I've kind of been and doing stuff. So, which has been awesome. It's a fun thing. It's a fun hobby that, to do. And sometimes you get stuff out of it, but it's kind of like, even if I wasn't getting stuff out of it, I still just love doing it and being able to share things, share the passion of the beer.
Yeah, absolutely.
So did you drink a beer yesterday for National Beer Lovers Day?
I did. I forget when I checked in on something. I'm like, oh, I did. Who knew it was International Beer Lovers Day?
I thought it was just Wednesday, because in my house every day is National Beer Lovers Day.
You're right.
Oh yeah, so it's always fun to sit back and enjoy. But yeah, so this will be my third beer that I'm actually checking in, which I need to type in the information here while it's fresh in my head and fresh in front of me. But I feel like overall it's pretty decent beer.
So how long do you have to submit all your scores on those?
I'm going to cut it off by December 1st. So I figure give everybody.
Oh, December. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you got the whole September, October, November. So you got 3 months to, grab what you can grab. I'm sorry?
So you got plenty of time.
Yeah, absolutely. This Allagash White is terrific. I mean, the taste on this is fantastic.
Yeah. It's a solid beer. I mean, like I said, when people were kind of knocking it before, it was kind of like, I forgot what they were knocking it for, because the awards things that come out, but it's like,
oh yeah. I think if I remember right, was it the World Beer Cup? And
right, the World Beer Cup.
For whatever reason, they never gave a gold or silver. And they just said, well, we only, it's a bronze. I'm like, this beer has won award after award, and now it's only a bronze. If it's the best out of the category, it's the best. Give it the damn gold.
Right. Yeah. That's what it was. Yeah, they could. Yeah.
And it's not like it's a Johnny come lately. It's an established beer that's been around, but it didn't meet our criteria, so we're only going to award a bronze this year. Like, get out of here, jagoffs.
And that's where the beer snobbery comes in on stuff too.
Right.
It's kind of like people get turned off by that. I think it's just like, if it's the best of whatever, then that will be the gold regardless. Mm-hmm. But So it didn't meet our criteria.
Yeah.
Like, screw your criteria. It's the best one out of all of them, right? So
Yeah.
yeah. And then the second and third worst, no matter what it was, would be your silver and bronze.
And it wasn't like it was the only beer that entered. There were like hundreds and hundreds of beers. So if you're the best out of 100, 200, 300, 400 beers, you're the best. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, imagine, yeah, Simone Biles was here, but we didn't feel like she did enough. So we're going to just give her like the bronze. She was better than everybody else.
She was better. Yeah, she was better 4 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't work that way. It's about the contestants that are there at that time. Yeah. But
I'm about to kill a freaking dog. He's driving me nuts.
Is the dog outside still, or you brought it back
he
in?
stands out there and barks at nothing.
That's mine.
Well, you are by cornfield.
Yeah.
It could be children of corn out there. He's trying to tell you.
Come and get him sometimes.
Or it could be signs. Could be like aliens landing out there.
He'll stand on our back porch of the steps that goes down, and he'll just stand there and bark, like looking out in the street, like there's nothing out there. What are you barking at? Late at night, I'm like, people are trying to sleep.
Yeah, that's funny. But Dave, any other beers you're looking forward to trying, or things like that, or what? Your podcast. What upcoming guests do you have on the podcast upcoming?
I'm working on, and part of it is. And it's my own fault because I'm older. I'm 55. I'm Gen X. Like, I just don't care. So, I mean, there's a few people that, like, we're kind of going back and forth. But, like, if you don't want to, you don't want to. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. So, for the next few weeks, it's going to be some solo shows. Okay. I've got a couple things that I'm working on. I don't want to like spill the beans in case they don't pan out, but yeah, that's the one thing that I think is my biggest fault. Like I need to push a little bit harder, where I'm just more laid back. Like if you want to do it, great. If you don't, okay.
Yeah.
No big deal. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. I'm Gen X too. So it's just how we were trained, Yeah.
Same here.
Yeah. Get on board and get off the boat. I don't really care. It's up to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But for those of you that have heard the podcast, like a few weeks ago, well, actually, it might have been, I think about 3 or 4 weeks ago, you did the interview with the Beer Nuts.
Yeah, that was really good. Yeah,
that was a great interview you did with the Beer Nuts company, and learned some good stuff there. Didn't really realize about them, and I haven't had Beer Nuts in a while, but it was really some good details there about the whole thing that they were doing and things along those lines.
And like their stuff's like really good. Like on the show, I remember like as a kid, like you'd go to taverns and you'd have some, and like I would think, oh, these are special peanuts because they're coated in beer. No, it's not. It's coated in like a sugar or something else. But no, they're still really good.
Yeah.
I love it. The snack mix is really good. So yeah, he was a fun guest to have on.
Yeah. Dave has great guests on there from different things when he does have the guests on there. So it's always good, entertaining, and the show. Obviously, the show can range from 15 to 30 something, 40 minutes, but it's always good, entertaining all the way through. Yeah. So it's always.
You get a shout out this week, Rod, because I was talking about my beer news. The one thing you posted this week, and I dropped your name, was the official beer of Georgia Tech. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I like that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't it interesting though? Like all these different schools are getting deals in beer now because, like you said, you're 55, I'm 53. And it's like when we were back in school, and even when Todd's younger than me, but when we were back in school, like it was taboo to think a college would have a beer deal or an alcohol deal. And now, since the whole NIL type thing broke loose and you have other things happening, I think Florida State was the first one to get a deal with an alcohol company. It's interesting to see how this is all progressing now.
Yeah. They want to make their money. Like I remember even a couple of years ago, like you'd go to the NCAA basketball tournament, you could not drink during the tournament. You couldn't go into an arena and have a beer. And now schools have official beers. So, I mean, good for them.
Yeah. I mean, the money's out there for schools that need to, there's an avenue you can actually do. And, if we're progressing more as a society and people are able to handle and kind of stuff, why not? Why not have the opportunity to just take the whole thing off of alcohol being the black sheep, moderation, all that kind of stuff. And you can make a little money off of it. So it's interesting. It's interesting. So different times going forward. But yeah, Dave's podcast, always off the hook, always a great time. And I think I need to catch up. I don't know if I did last episode or I got to catch this week's episode for sure, but always good. And that's Beer in Front podcast. So and you're like on all the podcast channels. And now you got the YouTube channel. How's the YouTube channel going for you?
Not, it's another thing. Like, I don't put as much into it as I should. I did the one of Great Lakes. That exploded. But the other ones I've done, you get a few people watching here and there. So, I'll put some out. I noticed I'm picking up a better microphone for the YouTube stuff tomorrow. So the sound quality be a little bit better. Like I had the lapel mic that kept rubbing on the beard. It didn't sound that great. So work on some better quality for that. But yeah, I'm going to put more like quick little like 3 to 5 minute, beer reviews on YouTube. So that'll be coming up soon.
Yeah. So make sure to check out Dave on the Beer in Front here on YouTube. So a lot of good stuff there as well. And if you have any questions on it, let me know too. I think I can help you out on. Always have an ear to help out everybody else that I can for sure. But I think with tonight, we're going to get all wrapped up here. Great episode, great time. We got Mal on board now for the judging. We'll have Todd on board for the judge. I'm just going to say we'll have Todd on board. I'm going to go ahead and assume that there. So this is all about peer pressure on this show.
Just throw me out there.
Yeah. Clean out room in the fridge, Todd. You're putting some old style in the fridge now.
Walk away. You just walk and all kinds of things.
Yeah.
And so we'll be updating that, and then we'll update all that kind of stuff. And then out in December, we'll have the live show with the results that Dave will actually have. But, we'll, during the course of time, maybe fill you guys in on where we're at, or at least on my thing of different beers I'll be trying to let you know where I might be testing some stuff out. Because I said I didn't let my people know up front because they're like, when they saw Budweiser, it's like, hold on, what's going on here? So then I had to just let them know this is why I'm drinking Budweiser and High Life.
Like, Mom, what's going on here?
It's not like Rod didn't go corporate. I'm still the same guy.
Everyone's clicking unsubscribe.
It's all in the spirit. Remember, I take the arrows for you guys to let you know. So
they're probably like, "We'll start donating to Rod. He lost his job. He's drinking Bud. I'm not sure what happened."
He sold out to Macro. God damn it! I like that guy. Mal says, "Cheers, everyone. Good night. Take care." Definitely you too, Mal and Chew. And good night, fools from Gilbert as well. Cheers, homie. Have a good one. And we'll go ahead and we'll get signed off here. Always appreciate you guys swinging by. Next week actually is in a state of flux. There may or may not be a show. I haven't let Todd know this, by the way. So we might have a conflict, and it might be a little. If we do a show, it might be a little bit later when we start, just so we're aware. 2 weeks from now, there won't be a show because that'll be West Virginia versus Virginia Tech, and I'm not missing that game because that's an old school rivalry that I want to see us beat the hell out of the Hokies in. So
there you go.
I don't have my focus there. So thanks for everybody. Yeah, so thanks for everybody that tuned in, and we will look forward to catching up with you guys soon. Keep drinking those good beers out there. Remember, there's always time to get your beer on. Drink beer, live hoppily. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers. Thanks for having me on.
I didn't mean to cut you off there. I hit the button too quick. But go ahead, Dave.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Definitely.
Yeah, glad you came on.
Fast button on the trigger. And now, cue that Isaac Hayes footage.